wound up on a little bit of a cart chase as he did a absolutely miraculous Leroy maneuver, jumping at the dragon pursuing us. Drake, I should say.
219s in a row.
Yes. Flying through the air, leading to both his death and that of the rider.
Alleged.
Likely. Plausible, I guess I'll say. So we were pursued and running on our high-speed cart with our druid/horse.
Which was fabulous.
Yes. We made some leaps over a chasm and were pursued by a drake. We leaped over a bank deliberately with some cinematic backflip knife awesomeness.
Special note there by the author in this case.
And we arrived to have the cart collapse after its miraculous trip.
Having just given out at the last bit.
It's the end of the movie, Daddy.
That's the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Alright, well,
You get an arcane focus.
I guess you can watch a different
Do you
one.
want a crystal, an orb, a
What?
rod, a staff?
Hang on a sec, I'll be right back.
Are you throwing together a character?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you thinking?
So far I've got an elf with wizard stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, we're just deciding what she wants for her arcane focus. Crystal, it's like your magic
Oh, okay.
device that you use to power your magic.
Crystal.
You want a crystal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, there.
Spell books.
As the cart gave out, you guys were then at the village. What happened to the other wyvern? There was another wyvern left, I believe.
It had broken
Flow
off
off.
its pursuit, having been severely injured by our various assaults on the run.
It made its escape, and you guys arrived at the village where the cart gave out, which is where we'll find ourselves. As the camera's going to pan down and show a lot of you getting off the cart, you look about to see the wyverns sailing away in the distance. Already men are yelling, shouting amongst one another as the guards rush and start climbing towers where the city's defenses include 2 large ballista, typically used to ward off anything that might crawl out of the swamps. But this day they run towards them, eager to try them out against something airborne, only to see, to their dismay, it quickly making its way away. It's a lot of A, okay?
Super Canadian.
With that,
Hang on.
there you go.
Stupid.
With that said, the lot of you are confronted with a bout of villagers who ogle upon you in shock, and a young boy. That's really not the music. You guys all standing in front of the villagers, you know.
Just raving away.
Yeah.
You know,
The villagers
what
jump
happens when
in.
we spend too much time in the swamp? Roll the fumes and
Roll athletics or acrobatics for crowd surfing. No, that's fucking Chemical Brothers. Back to playlists. Give me something appropriate.
Oh, Jasper was quite ill and then healed quite
Mhm.
easily.
yeah. But we still have to
Trivially.
get him to a proper doctor just to make sure.
As he may be transforming into something with having done some damage to the cart abruptly and unexpectedly in a unforeseen and mysterious way, potentially with his hand turning into something a lot.
It probably came like that. You know what? It probably came like that.
Okay.
So, with that said, you guys arrive.
Can't find good music.
We're gonna get there. Feeling a bit rusty today, not gonna lie. Feeling a bit rusty. As we were. You guys have Jasper in tow. Jasper is doing fairly well for a boy who's been airborne in a small cart that now sits in pieces nearby. A lot of you looking amongst one another, see the villagers as it is, the wyvern leaving in the distance. 2 things you know. A, that, well, actually 3 things. The first of which is that you have the staff. Someone of you has to have the staff, I should say. Would you like the staff? Would you like the staff?
It would seem more appropriate.
Sure, I'll
to
take
have
the
that.
staff.
Terrific. You currently have the staff, as we currently lack a tiefling. With that said, the staff gives a bit of a resonation as the boy looks up towards the wyvern. You can see anybody with a passive perception of 15 or better can spot that he has a strange set of lumps underneath the back of his shirt.
I have 11.
Underneath
I'm
his
not
shirt.
sure anyone does.
With a 15 or better?
Yeah,
Really?
not 100% sure if anyone does.
No, okay. Oh, you have a... No, really?
Yeah.
I thought you had a 14, actually.
I have a 14.
Oh, okay. Then...
It's on the first page of your character sheet.
Can I roll for perception?
So in that case, yeah, I'm going to have to ask, who's hanging around here? Who's looking at the boy? Who would like to make a perception check on this?
Sure, I will. Yes.
I'm assuming everyone?
Yeah, why not?
Opening.
Oh, fair enough.
Failed miserably.
Yeah.
Really? Terrific.
I got 18.
Alright.
Just signing in. And
So as you're watching upon the wyvern, you guys can see these lumps upon his back. You can see that they twitch slightly and then begin to recess a little bit. Relaxing, you would even say. As this all occurs, you sight upon behind you the villagers beginning to disperse from the area. I can't remember what time of day it was when you guys arrived here.
Midday.
I want to say you guys left in the morning and arrived an hour or maybe 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So there we go. What's up, you?
Hi.
Hello.
So in any event, as the staff resonates for a moment, Jasper looks over towards you. You look towards him. You see the staff there that you've got, I'm assuming, at your belt or maybe somewhere else, actually. Maybe strapped to the side of your bag.
Yeah, at the side of the bag.
So this thing is going to be about... Yay.
So not too big.
Yeah, so the side of
So
the
this is
bag.
what I've always envisioned. Not too big, but certainly not a wand. A
Yeah.
little bit more robust. Yeah. That said, you can see it sort of resonating. That is shaking where he's got it situated. As this moment passes by, the boy looks towards you and says, "I'm going to go home." What are you guys doing?
We're almost there, boy.
Oh, shit.
I think we should continue on. We need to go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's
Take him to the hospital or wherever we
Well, we'll take him home first. Yeah.
Take him to the hospital then.
Yeah.
Let the other dude know that we got him and we want our money.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
doctor, cleric.
That's fair. The church acts as the hospital, is more of a hospitalier, as it were. So you guys are going to head towards there. As you guys make your way down the road there, some of the guards take note, passing by, and one of them shouts out, "Is that the boy Jasper Rutger?" Towards you as you're walking with Jasper, who looks over towards them and says, "It is?" They look towards you. Are you his charge? Or is he your charge?
Your charge?
Is he your charge? Have you retrieved him?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Where are you taking him now?
We're taking him to the clerics. To
Back to his.
For the church.
Ah,
To be healed.
Should probably best
you.
let us
Accompany
follow
them.
as well.
I shall go and fetch the masters then. On your way. And he leaves the moment as you guys are situated in the center of the street. You're about 3 blocks away from the church at this point. Jasper
that's
looks
handy.
upon the guard looks upon Jasper and says, "Where have you been all this time, boy?" And Jasper just looks at him and says, "In the swamps."
Ass.
So what do you guys do? Anything special in this moment?
What do you mean you're just in the swamps?
He
You
looks
got
towards you.
taken by a bunch of frogs. You were just in the swamps.
He lowers his eyes. He's kind of ashamed in the moment. You can tell as his eyebrows droop down and his shoulders slump. And then he looks back up and he's a little wet and he says, "My friends are dead."
Oh, dear.
Well, let's make
And
sure
then,
that.
You're not. Let's
Yeah.
Make sure I'll
He
stay
looks,
that
he looks towards Toba and kind of like angles over towards him, sidling and alongside the big dragonborn. The guard looks at you guys and then says, "Right, we should be on our way then.
Grab
Clerics don't wait for everybody, and Starless should be in soon." So, making your way down the street, you guys find they're actually feeding the homeless today. Apparently, that's a thing that happens every so often. So, Malloran's Rest is kind of a small place. So there's like one guy that shows up. It's kind of easy.
One guy.
Get some
Yeah.
food.
One Eye Lester, he's out there. He's having himself some chicken. Or something, anyway. It looks like chicken. Might be
Frog.
lizard. Yeah, probably, really. But they're damn good frog's legs, let's be honest.
Yep.
You know? Or who's to say what they eat in the bayou? I'm not really sure. All sorts of stuff.
Crocodiles, frogs.
Crawfish.
Crawfish, there you go.
Catfish.
Crawdads and whatnot. That's what I was trying to think of. Or what the hell was it in Forrest Gump?
Crawfish.
Was it crawfish? Okay, yeah. Anyway,
Shrimp,
Shrimp.
and boat.
Shrimp.
Shrimp and boat.
alright, fair enough. As you guys enter upon the church, you see Father Luminous situated in the center of the place. He looks over towards you as you're approaching and he says, "Ah, Jasper." He's an old baldish sort of fellow. He's got that crown of hair that hangs down to about yonder. So you're not really sure if he's trying to give the service or anyway. So he's situated there as he rises to his feet, and you can see he's playing with what looks to be a little diorama of sorts. And looking upon the diorama, the first thing that catches your eye is the mobility of something all around upon this little diorama of what looks to be like hills and land. It's got trees sprouting out of it. It's got little houses upon it, and there's just a little figure running back and forth, and every so often it's suddenly challenged by another figure that leaps up out, and it jumps in and beats the piss out of this thing and turns it to dust, and that dust like kind of seems to mold into it, and you're taken by this, and Jasper is just like eyeing these things as Father Luminous stands up and says, "Yes, it's fascinating, isn't it? It's clay, believe it or not." And he leans in upon it. "Magical thing. Look at this." And he puts his finger in there, and this little clay figure runs over and just boom, 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 starts punching his finger. Just crazy. And it's poet. It's art. You see, it's art. It's an artistic piece. It comes from Waterdeep, and it's I can't quite recall the title. It's here on the side, and he's looking around. "Sorry, what can I do for you?" And he looks down towards the boy, and he's totally all smiles. Right, he looks upon him, and Jasper looks up to him and says, "I need help. I've been in the swamp." And he holds up his hand, and Father Luminous says, "Oh my goodness!" Takes his hand and says, "Has anybody cared to him at all? You're a magic lady. You live just yonder there. Of course, I've seen you about. Dysenchera.
Yeah, that's the one. We have
And-
the boy. We need you to.
What can you tell me about this?"
We found it in the swamp, and the fish were trying to kill him.
My goodness,
And
this is terrible. What's happened to his fingers?
They bit it off.
You poor
And
lad.
now,
Have you addressed the wounds in any fashion? Have you?
Yeah, we dressed the wounds.
Very good. No, have you provided him any medications? Have you?
I cured him of a disease we thought he might have had.
He stares upon you as you're talking and says, "Ah, yes, very, very good, of course. Right this way, lad." And he takes the boy over towards the altar. It's about 15 minutes of the fellow messing about. Oh, what is that? Oh, I didn't even count it in because I don't have the fairy up, eh? Oh, that's funny. That's okay. I pulled it off like a pro. It's good. Let's get that thing up, though. Oh. As we were. He takes the boy over towards the thing, and it's about 15 minutes of work that he spends upon the boy's hand. Where'd my music even go? Oh, it did die out. Let's fix that. I need my drama. Where's my drama? Right?
Yeah.
I need a DJ now.
Hey, last session it was fire.
I heard about this.
I gotta get the speakers installed on the table. If I'm gonna top the fire.
Like watching yourself.
It was just
Nothing
trying
narcissistic
yourself.
about that at all.
Check the comments, that's all.
It's about a 15-second lag.
There we go.
My hair just covers half my face.
Nah, not that one. Let's jump back here for a second. Go to is there we are.
He was trying to say
Shazamski.
shrimp, but we gave shrimp.
He takes him towards the back, and you can hear outside the rippling fire crackling through the open windows of the church front facade, and a little bit of light twinkling from on high as the now about 2 o'clock in the afternoon sun makes its way through some stained glass. Father Luminous holds up the unwrapped hand under the light and administers a couple droplets of a solution to the tips. And the fingertips begin to soak the medication, and you can see them kind of like turn a reddish color almost immediately from the purple that they had gone from whatever had infected them.
What kind of medication is it?
You can see him mixing up a bunch of different herbs and spices as he puts this together, all 11 of them. But having said, you recognize some and you see some new ones that he's mixing in, and you make some notes on this. So you have a good idea of how to address swamp rot using a couple of these ingredients from the church.
Using fried chicken.
Yeah. So, you know, sage and rosemary
Just rub it
thyme.
on.
Good to know.
Point being though, as this is all occurring and he gets it all finished, and you know the next 5 minutes he's just holding the hand there, and he's asking the boy about his adventures, and you can see that over the course of it, he's like got amazing bedside manners. He's like, well, tell me about your time in the swamp. Didn't you build a fort? Oh, and what does the sign outside say? You know, and as he's holding the hand and it's healing up, and eventually looks perfect enough for his taste, he gives it another dressing around each of the fingertips, and he says, in time there is the chance we could seek magical aid to have them regrown. But for now, this will do. Should my shipments work to my liking, I apologize. I have heard of your business. What I am about to say is that your competitors, the Krobus family, have promised that they can get some troll matter through, so I can fashion a bit of a regenerative aid for those in need. So I do apologize for not coming through your means, but it is available there. So I jumped on the opportunity. Please don't repeat it to anybody. I don't wish anybody to think the church to have those sorts of means. And you take note of this, because the thing that hits you is, wow, troll, fucking anything is expensive as shit. Where does the fucking swamp church get the means to get troll anything? Right? Anyway. But then you think to yourself, wait a minute, who did he say he was getting it from? The Kropus family. And you think that's Hiram Kropus, Lord Kropus, and their family, the guys who just came into town. They were doing the thing with the swamp city that's all super small and whatnot. They just moved in, and they're your competitors. They're the big corporation, and you're just kind of like the little shop over here doing your own thing. As you hear about this, the door to the church opens up, and a couple of Kropus men walk in, almost on cue. As the door opens wide and several of them stomp through the wooden area that is the church's front entryway amidst the pews towards you, they lock eyes with the boy, and Jasper looks towards them, and you can feel the staff begin to slightly resonate. And as the men draw closer, amidst them, one of them steps, and he's an orc of all things, as he pulls his helmet off his head and puts it to the side under his shoulder. And the other thing that gets you is the strange sigil that he's got on a leather breastplate a leather breastplate that hangs in the center of an otherwise mostly naked torso, a big, robust, gray, fleshed man, as he pulls his robe off as well and puts them to the side, very civilized-like. And he, as he leans up, you see he's got double satchels leaning to either side that you can tell are full of just all sorts of bric-a-brac and foliage and berries and who knows whatever else.
Do we know what the sigil is? Is it just
You can throw me a religion.
Okay. 90.
Hmm? A chainsaw is a superior personal weapon. Sorry?
I got 19.
Okay. Anybody who got, I'm going to say 14 or better, is able to recognize it, oh shit, actually, as, crap. As a sigil of a god known as Grumbar, an earth god. God of clay, as a matter of fact, of life and whatnot, growth from the earth. As you look upon the sigil, he regards you with an outstretched hand. Hello. And he puts it towards Lux.
Hello.
You can see his lips try to mold their way around his tusks as he takes your hand in a powerful yet controlled grip and gives it a single shake and then retracts his hand. You can see he's like super proud, right? But anyway, he stands there and says,
We best be getting Jasper back to his father.
Yes, we would like to see the boy through.
No.
We've done a great deal to bring him this far. We will take him to his father.
We will accompany to ensure his safety. And he pulls back without
There's
another
little
word.
need, but
You say this to his backside as he walks away, and the other guys look at you, and you can see, like, in the moment, they don't know what to make of it. They've heard of you. And they pull back and do one of those. So with that said, you guys watch this occur as Jasper stands there and the fellow stands in the doorway.
I brought you coffee.
Thank you very much. Oh, that feels good. That feels right. Where was I? Sorry. Where was I actually? Holy crap, drew a blank.
Orcs.
They ran out. Oh yeah. The orc dude stands in the doorway, waiting. And Jasper looks towards you and says, We should head to my father. Can I trust you to see me through? You don't have to go any further. I understand you've got things to do.
we've done a great deal to bring you this far. Let's see your father.
Thank you. And he proudly starts to walk away from you towards the door.
I pursue after, staying close to him.
You do so. You guys?
I'd walk in front of him, I think.
You move in front and lead the way. The orc fellow
beside him.
moves to the side. As you go to the door, you kind of replace just like literally opposite side of where the orc dude was. It's almost machine-like, the whole scene, as the lot of you make your way out, and you watch this all play out. Now, you don't have the same investment in the moment. You don't have the same drive, but he would if he were here, and he left you to follow along. It's easy, what can I say? Point being, though, as you watch the staff leave the room, your eyes just kind of follow it.
Pretty. Now that I know what it looks like.
With that said, though,
I keep a. I'm assuming that the.
He pretty much leads the way.
They're gonna follow us. essentially.
he keeps a distance. You
Okay.
can see that he actually does keep. So we'll say he keeps like 10 feet, 20 feet. You know,
Okay.
that sort of window to,
So
depending
not
on who's in the way.
uncomfortably close.
No, exactly. But my point being is he does stay close. You know. In any event, Jasper leads the way back towards home. And as he arrives upon the Rutger compound, which is, a collection of houses and sheds, it's almost immediate that you hear a shriek of relief from the lower windows as one of the women, you assume it to be the mother, screams out at the sight of the impending boy. The door is flung open as the butler, I believe his name was Jerome? Jameson. As Jameson suddenly blasts it open and dodges out of the way, the lady rushes past, heading towards the lot of you. And Jasper says, "I'm okay, Mom," and holds up the hand. She breaks down and literally falls to her knees, sliding on them. As she grabs a hold of the hand and just begins to bawl against it. The moment pans. Camera encircles you guys as you guys arrive upon. And the orc fellow stands nearby as
He's here now. Such things can be dealt with later.
your voice echoes through the courtyard as not Hiram. What was his name? Lemon. His name was Lemon Rutger. Lord Lemon. Yeah, Lord Rutger.
Oh, yes.
Comes to the door and says, "What's going on here?" And it fades to black. It rises up again. You guys are inside, and Rutger's walking around. Lord Rutger's walking around, and he looks towards and he says, "I couldn't cane them enough for this." And the camera pans against the faces of you guys. If you remember, there was the guards and the scullery caned in the front of the village, and hanging out in the stocks. You could see them bruised up from getting swashbuckled.
Oh, that's right.
As Lord Rutger looks towards everybody, he looks over towards the Oric and says, "Good path, is it?" And the Oric looks and gives a nod, and Lord Rutger says, "What is the Cropus interest in this? What does Hiram want?" And the boy at this point actually pipes up and says, Can I go to my room?" And Lord Rutger says, "Of course. Take all the time you need."
Hopefully we cleaned it since we were last here.
What's that smell?
Surely the scullery did a good
I
job.
wouldn't do that. Please, just wait for the maid.
Should I have had her caned more? Anyway, so Jasper excuses himself and you hear him yell from upstairs, "Gross!"
We need our money, we should go. Please. Go.
As Lord Rutger looks towards you, he says, "You've done well bringing me my son. You have your payments, yes?" And he looks towards, did he pay you in full? He didn't pay you in full.
No,
No, he
the
hadn't
maid
paid us
was
yet.
laying down.
Yeah. He instructs the nearby page to bring forth a box, and inside there are a couple bags. He grabs one of them, looks at it, and nods and holds it forth for whomever's going to grab it.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay. The Dragonborn stretches out, grasps it, and retrieves the bag. It feels like the right amount, you would guess.
You best be far more careful in the future, Jasper. The swamps are dangerous.
You're going to say this to him before he leaves, so you say this to his backside as he does. Get to the exit way, he stops for a moment, doesn't say anything, and then continues on his way.
I'd like to grab him and be like, "Do not go back into the swamp."
Okay, fair enough. So to the ignorance that he shows his words, you grab him and you do you shout this?
Yeah, like, kids.
Yeah,
No.
fair
You
enough.
need to listen to us. You're gonna kill yourself.
Rutger doesn't do anything. He literally just stands nearby and he's stoic. He has nothing to say.
What a little brat.
No, not that guy. Like, Lord Rutger just stares at his
Oh.
son. And, what would his reaction be? Shit, man. The boy, you know what? He says, "I learned my lesson. My friends died. Other people paid for my mistakes." And he runs off, taking off out the room. But as he leaves, you watch as his shirt is now torn at the backside. And as he runs away out of the room, much to your surprise that this occurs, he's got the wings at this point almost bursting against the shirt. Everybody in the room gasps at the sight of this, and your staff is resonating to no end as it nearly explodes from the sheer force of as it explodes off of the back, as it nearly explodes off of the backpack from the sheer force that it's shaking with. The boy collapses against the frame, and the whole staff just goes inert, like it was cut off. Wow. That's perfect. As the camera pans against you guys in this moment, as he falls to the ground, you see the wings actually just like miniature style sitting there, almost comically flit, and then give out.
So they've actually broken through the skin now?
Oh yeah, thoroughly. They've broken through the shirt now.
Oh my gosh. What do we do?
You can cut them off.
No, we're not cutting them off.
I don't want
We need
wings.
to like tie him down or something. Tie him
He's an
down.
X-Men, right? With Angel, he sits there and cuts his wings off.
Sweet.
Oh,
They'll just
boy.
grow back.
Yeah,
They will
cut his
just
horns
grow
off.
Well, the hand didn't.
back. Unlucky.
Did you want that? No.
Yeah, tie him down.
You're gonna time down?
I want to tie him down, yeah.
Alright.
I want
Lord.
to against them, see if that does
He's
anything.
getting crazy.
Okay, as you do
You
this,
just never
you
know.
just nudge him.
Even like
Yeah.
Chaplin
Doesn't do
his
anything.
room.
Alright.
He's like,
Nothing happens to the staff. Nothing happens to him. But the words haven't changed. The words haven't changed. No, wait, they have. They've moved. As you look upon them, you're sure of it. And you reach out. Do you touch the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You find
Back
that
the-
where the letters are, shift. In all the rattling and all the shaking, something got loosened. And they're actually little blocks that get hitched. It's not a part of the staff. They're put on the staff. And they're in little rails that are inset upon it. Oop. Alright, there. Got it. That's all good. As you look upon this thing, you're like, holy shit! New discovery.
I guess the staff's got some sort of codec on it. Should we try to figure out how to unlock it?
Yes, we should.
Sure.
Let's give it a whirl.
So as this all occurs, Lord Rutger asks that his son be strapped down to his bed and provides the straps, saying that these ones are comfortable but secure.
Seriously, is it still covered in puke?
We're gonna strap him somewhere else.
Third question. They make the discovery and clean it up. The scullery did not have a chance to do it before she was caned and thrown in the stockades, and they haven't found a replacement. So, good help is so hard to find, especially when you're known for caning it. It's one of those things. Where was I then? So, watching all this play out, the boy is getting secured. Now we're gonna pan. Let's alright. Alright. Yeah. Need a place to keep the lawnmower. No, that's too tall. What am I doing?
Could be outside.
That is true, actually. I'll do it there. We'll furnish it when we get there. It's not important until we get there. Wait, I'm gapping hard here. You guys are in the place. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be on the second floor? Yes, we'll put you on the
The
second
room was
Well,
upstairs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just deciding where I'm going to start yet. Well, who's going to go upstairs and who's going to go downstairs? That's the real question. As I say.
Are we splitting?
Well, if somebody wants to take them upstairs or all of you want to stay downstairs, let the guards do it. I don't know.
I would
I'll
say
strap him.
You're going to strap them down?
Yeah.
Alright. And everyone else? I'll go on the stairs.
Guys,
some
we're
webs
going
and
upstairs.
chains.
to
Oh,
walk.
I feel I need to keep a close eye on this.
Oh wait, we're not torturing him.
I'm Snoopy, I'll go upstairs too.
Alright, terrific.
But I'll kind of like stay on the stairs in the back.
Do you want to bring popcorn and a stool?
No, I have Timbits.
This gonna be good.
By the way, anybody want some Timbits?
So are you popping a character in, or what's going on?
I just wanted to watch more or less, see what was going on.
She's got a character if I want to throw her in. That's all
You're
I
at
need.
his
Yeah.
mercy.
Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah. Once I introduce you, though, I might be at yours. That's a gamble I gotta be ready to take.
Jen was telling me about it, and I kind of wanted to see it. So.
Well, now that you've seen it, what have you got to say for it? It's always a pleasure to have company along. We like showing people that side of ourselves. Now, the problem here is that I've got to take a moment while everybody watches me populate a dollhouse for myself. It's just so that we can all play together. I'm trying to make it fun. I'm sorry.
Books.
Well, I mean, it's a house, Curtis. We gotta make it nice. Do you want to help?
Furnish it.
Do you want to help? You can
Interior
put chairs in.
decorating. What else we got in there?
We got a lot of chairs, a little table.
Table.
Is it all one big open room?
It's kind of open concept, it seems. Yeah, I mean, I could throw. You know what? Shit. I have some room dividers right here. Haha! We'll put the stairs right there because that's what we got. I'm not sure how this would be divided, but we can do. Oh, actually, this one? Yeah, this one goes here. There we go. So we got like a wall right there. I don't know what we're gonna do with this.
That's gorgeous.
Can do something with this. There we go. And we can put that there. Oop, that's not good. I had a dream. There we go.
That's Lego? That's great.
Oh yeah, a couple. They're not Lego. They're Lego. Sorry, I should say. Rather.
They're
Mega
Legos.
blocks.
They're not Lego.
Lego.
But they're Lego.
Lego.
The Legos.
off-brand of Lego.
Yep.
They're made of illegal plastics.
Ooh.
You know, they're having a really hard time trying to come up with a non-plastic alternative like that will actually function.
I don't doubt it.
They've
There's a million different
corn and
solutions.
stuff, and
for-
nothing seems to hold up and work.
Concrete.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Milk jug. Lower it down. Clank. Son!
Drop it in the grocery store.
That's why you don't be
Sorry,
around me
what's
when I
your
drink
This is the third toe this week. People gotta stop drinking milk.
or drink more. They
They gotta commit, one or the other. Okay, that's the second floor. Now the first floor.
Ooh, it's so pretty.
What's up? I guess I need beds.
Those work.
Let's do that.
So do Persian rugs.
Throw rugs.
You
Nice
roll them up
throw
in the Persian
I
rug.
had a mouse
Yeah, you just
pad.
roll them up and then
That-
you take it out back.
Looks like stone.
I'd love to
Or
find
you
that
put
mouse
down
pad
the,
again
chimney
and rip
chute.
off the surface for
There we
carpets.
go.
And then
Oh,
light the
that's
chimney on
hilarious.
fire.
Alright, so that sort of
What's that
thing will
smell?
do. No, that's not
No, there's
Not
no
burning
smell.
flesh.
No. It's coming
Alright.
from the swamp. It's your imagination.
We'll go with that. It's ish. You'd have to excuse his room for being lame.
Grand entranceway outside.
Right? Thank you. Some nice dramatic effect there. That's good stuff. Do I not have your characters up yet? My apologies. Let's get that going. I should really be paying attention to the chat here. I'm just the worst streamer. Alright.
5,000 unopenable blocks with an untold treasure.
So-
That's kind of what. Whoa.
As you guys are situated in front of him, the little boy, looks a bit peaked from the day's events, maybe a bit delirious, as you're all piled in there. Hey, buddy!
We're gonna strap you down now.
It's
This
like
is what's
all
happening.
of the Avengers coming to see you down.
That's okay, little Tim. They can't get you a new liver, but you'll be okay.
Who's not here? There's a tiefling right in the center there that's not there. Let's get you to the side. Oh, our
That's
druid's not
Druid.
here either. Womp womp womp. Get that off the side.
Did you hear from her at all, or?
Yeah, she's got a sore throat today. She was gonna come out and then she was like, "It's too much, you know. Are you gonna be upset if I don't show up?" I'm like, "No, you're not comfortable. Don't come back." No sense fucking suffering through a game. Unless this was competitive D&D, that'd be weird though.
That'd
If we were like totally relying on somebody, you know what I mean? If you don't come, we might lose the championship.
We're gonna all die.
Yeah, this is kind of a situation where you're gonna be like, "You guys win! Hooray! Good job! Everybody feel good." So a lot can't affect players or characters directly. Simple as that. Looking upon the blades of the peaked, sweating as he lays back on the bed, and he looks upon you and says, "I know it. The secret. I know it. The secret." And he looks towards you. "Toma! I know it. The secret.
What's the secret?
The
Jasper?
Secret.
The secret.
The secret
I
to the
know.
staff?
The secret. The secret is there. The secret.
Is it in the swamp?
No. You can't open it. You can't see it." And he's just sweating profusely, completely
see
pale
what?
in the face. "It's unavoidable. You'll see it. You won't drop it. You won't see it. You will drop it." And he's kind of like losing it.
Good God,
He's kind of going slack
calm
against
down.
you. "No. Never forget. Never forget." He's
Never
yelling this in your
surrender.
face. With that said, what's with my phone number being up there? What are you doing?
Yeah,
Is that yours?
That's totally random. Yeah.
It's
he's-
behind your head.
How many?
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some dirty messages from the chat people.
If I actually get messages, I will be surprised.
That's hilarious.
That is sad on my part, isn't that is?
I can
Right.
still see
Credit card
it.
number.
Maybe I should get to the
whoops.
combat in the session. Maybe I would have noticed by now. No calls, no texts.
Apparently.
That's alright.
Okay.
I've got the
So what, do you
funds
want
to
an
make up
anger
for
or
it.
something?
This is a sad day. I want to say this is a sad
Paint
day.
an arrow onto my head.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I'm gonna be getting some verifications.
The
Oh,
avatar.
send me your number. I'll text
give
you the
me
verification
avatar for
numbers. There you
Halloween,
go.
That'd be hilarious.
I've never thought about that one.
Caillou.
Oh, you're
We could
terrible.
make Caillou for Halloween, but we could like
God.
do bruising on your eye, like we beat the crap out of you.
We're just like
Please, Caillou.
angry Caillou. Caillou from
Broken
Borderlands.
home Caillou.
That'd be some badass Caillou. Where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, you guys were putting him down.
Strapping
He's
him
going
down.
delirious. He's saying something about an unforgettable treasure, unforgettable something, unforgettable, unavoidable, undroppable, unseeable. It's something that's locked away, and then he passes out. It's unreal. You watch him fall backwards. in a
Shot of
puddle of-
adrenaline.
Yeah, puddle of
Wake
sweat.
up,
Man.
kid.
He suddenly comes to no. He starts snoring pretty much immediately. Spread out, splayed, sweat soaking through his shirts. Free dating? All right, cool. Free dating site is my favorite. It's awesome.
Cute.
It's gonna be. I'm not going there. Damn it! No. As he falls back with all of his own sweat. Jesus.
Yay!
That was a few hours ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
8 a.m.
Oh, oh
Shit, I'm
that's
totally
5
getting off
a.m.
track here. Holy crap. As he falls backwards, you guys hear a clanging in the distance. You hear the clanging before you hear the yelling. And then a moment later, you hear the unmistakable screech that you heard hours ago. But you hear it again soon afterwards. and once more after that. And if that isn't enough, you hear a sudden crash as wood smashes inwards. An explosion of some sort takes place. Several people scream in kind. Someone screams out help, but you don't know if help is going to be there soon. As you situate yourself here, you can hear these echoing out inwards from the front windows, which are open for the heat. As the boys pass out at this point, you hear a ruckus downstairs. You can hear the captain yelling, "To arms, men, to arms!" As the voices echo from downstairs, you stare outwards, and you can see the little forms scurrying along. The little forms like a carpet coming through the city, and you can see the forms of the militia coming to arms to meet them. A lot of you are watching a war start to play out in front of your own eyes as twilight begins to scathe against the landscape. As you stand in the boy's room, as he is now off to Slumberland, you look behind you through the front windows of the large manor house and see down the swamp town's main driveway several tens of kobolds, 100, maybe 200 kobolds come charging down the street. As you watch this occur, militiamen rush in. Militiamen heading from the manor house, as well as swarming in response from other sides of the city, coming in from the side streets, wherever they may be, shouting to arms and moving in to protect the town. You stand in the top of this villa. What do you do?
That'll be
I should
fine.
get out to the balcony and survey,
Okay.
get a better feel for.
You rush out there. You see people screaming all around. You can see kobolds beginning to climb gutters, making their way up down pipes and walls, crawling over the city like a blanket virus.
Any nearby the house?
You can see no, not yet. They're all coming from that direction, conveniently. As they're headed towards this direction, you can see them invading upon whatever residences, protecting households. You can see militiamen moving into position. As well as you can see the ballistas being armed. But one thing catches your eye. As you look over towards the ballista, you can see the man who's ready to fire suddenly looks towards the ammo box and gawks out, "We're empty!" he yells out. Kobolds swarming nearby. Wyverns flying overhead. One of your ballistas is currently down.
I'd like to set an alarm for the front.
You do so. With a quick word of arcane power, you set an alarm on the front. Your alarm is,
It just says alarm.
Audible, what distance is it recall?
60 feet,
Or is it
240 feet,
30
just 30 feet. Alright,
Yeah.
cool. With that said,
20-foot cube.
terrific. You cover the doorway, thereby ensuring anybody who uses the door sets off a very audible alarm for those in hearing distance. With that said, the camera sweeps away from you guys to show the rest of the city in turmoil, and back to you guys. What are you doing?
How many windows? Is it exactly as many?
We'll say it's like that,
Okay.
ish.
Maybe some of the windows downstairs should be barricaded.
How many guards and militia do I have a rough idea within the city?
So, in the entirety of the city, there's a rough estimate of about 50 militiamen. Then there's two groups of specialty soldiers, one for the Kropus family and one for the Rutgers, as their bodyguards. The Rutgers have 12 people and the Kropus have 24.
Okay.
That said, what does that bring us to? Quite a few. They're all blended together, as you can see several of the Kropus men heading out down the main street to join the militiamen in battling against the kobolds. More to the point, you can see that a couple are situated outside the front doorway where the alarm goes off. As
I
the
totally meant snare, not alarm.
oh really?
That
Okay,
would be better.
I was gonna say, good
Sorry.
idea. All right. Fair enough.
Sorry.
You enact snare upon the door. Did you want to warn people? Do you want to shout down to the guards outside the front door?
Yeah, and then
Okay. You shout down about the magical effect. One of them says, "What?"
Oh
And
shit!
You try to explain it again. There's a magical trap. He's like, magic's on the door. What you mean? And he backs away from it. And he says, it's been magicked. And both of them are like taking 10 feet away from the door now.
Is there any
First person is gonna get stabbed.
Okay, so is this accurate with regard to there is no exterior stairway or anything up to the second level?
Oh,
It's all
I
interior?
put it. Oh yeah, you know what? I guess
we
we
only
could.
have to deal with through the building, essentially, is what I'm asking.
Like one exit.
Oh, there is a back way.
Yeah, but there's nothing.
But there's
nothing
no-
immediate to the second floor.
No.
That's what I was getting.
No, that's fine. They'd have to climb up to the windows. Ooh, excuse me.
Is Jasper still passed out?
Snoring hard. He's
And
gone.
tied
Alright.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have strapped him down at this point, I'd say. That's fine. With that said, what you doing? You see the whole of the place in turmoil. The ballista's out of shots. People screaming in buildings.
I'd like to walk outside,
You do so.
definitely.
Jameson comes around and asks, "Tea, madam?"
What is going on?
Pandemonium, it would seem.
Get back inside and stay on the first level. Stay clear of the door.
Ah, good sir. I go with my charges. Would you like some tea, sir?
Nice chamomile.
Indeed. I shall return.
Thank you.
He leaves.
So, barricaded the windows.
Terrific. So you work at this for a little bit, moving some shelves into position. You realize that there's just enough shelves for the front windows, not necessarily enough for all the side windows.
Okay.
So we're going to mulligan that and say there's enough for... I'm going to have to get you some shelves. Hang on a second.
Okay, good.
How do we want to deal with
Want
this?
some more sugar?
Oh,
You want some powdered donut?
Sure.
okay. Put that there.
Julie?
Oh, hi. How are you?
Yeah, sweet.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
And then I also have donuts, and then she has healthy stuff.
Come on, vegetables. And fruit.
I'm
Come on.
gonna have some of your fruit.
Alright.
Pass me a piece of pineapple.
Yeah, my work is so good with like this healthy workplace initiative they started it about 2 years ago. So like a couple times a week there's like a big fruit platter.
Oh, delicious.
It's like,
Like peaches.
so
I
it's
know,
so
right?
My favorite.
I like fresh pineapple though. I tried to eat canned pineapple,
Oh, it's
and I was
not
like,
the
no.
even if you pat
better
it down,
get-
it'll be
sorry.
okay, but yeah.
Smells like the Swedish chef.
Yeah, I was doing that at the moment. You barricade all the windows as I was saying, and then you do the job. And then from there, the camera pans back over to. Actually, it shows the front facade as the guards look towards you, and one after the next, there's like moving furniture into the place, and they're watching. The door's been magic, now they're blocking up the windows. Should we be out here? I think this is a bad idea. Anyway, so it shows you guys working away inside. Pans back up to you guys. What are you doing? You're watching these guys. She's just
I'm gonna-
ordering tea. He's
I'm
coming
gonna
to join
see
you
if I
guys.
can't readjust those lettering on the
You're
staff.
fucking with the glyphs?
I'm gonna grab something.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
How big is the front entrance? there?
Don't worry about those.
Sorry,
Like
From
wait,
population calling.
10 feet?
Feels like just under 10 feet.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is dismantle the railing and try and get some heavy stuff onto the balcony.
Okay, sounds good.
I'ma crush somebody.
Alright. You get the table prepped as you do this.
Sweet.
Right, you want to like have it over the doorway, yeah?
Yeah, like whatever heavy things I can grab, like furniture.
You just want to have a bunch of
chests.
shit ammoed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
A spare
So
bed,
you
whatever.
get the first thing going. You get another thing
Didn't
stacked.
they lose it?
So the question becomes how long. So it takes you 2 rounds to get the table dragged all the way over there.
Sure. I would imagine that we've got some degree of time.
Oh yeah. As this is going on, you guys can see in the distance the battle begins to rage as militiamen clash with the kobolds in 2 rivers of steel and angry little leathery, fucking God knows what. These things come full force with spears, not giving a fuck, jumping one over the other. These things are vicious, terrier-like. They're like, what the hell was it? Do you remember? Crap, I'm trying to remember. Critters. They're like critters. You remember critters? Critters.
Yes.
Yeah, except these guys got spears. So like imagine like critters. They're jumping around. Anyway, so yeah.
I'm also going to make sure that we position some of the stuff in such a way that we can get onto the roof if needed.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. All right. So this table here, we're gonna simply say like the way it's laid up because of how heavy an oak it is. The way you lay it, it's not moving. If you quickly run up the legs and climb it to the roof, it presents an easy enough. You can do athletics. I guess an advantage on this one. I'll just leave it. Fucking hate that sort of chance to build. 12 or better. Running up this thing, sort of parkouring it with hand over hand sort of thing. As you guys watch him dragging furniture out onto the balcony, one piece after the next. Did you actually finish your character? Oh, okay. You can pick up some spells and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can pick up some spells and whatnot.
Spellcasters are unfortunately a little bit more difficult to spin up.
But being level 2, it wouldn't take much.
I mean,
That said, though, so you've done a thing, or are doing a thing for the next 2 rounds, actually, worth of action.
I appreciate it if anyone's helping.
You ordered tea, but that doesn't really count as an
No,
action.
that was just.
You're moving furniture as well, so you guys are moving in tandem on your fronts. And then what are you doing then?
Is there anyone to kill?
No, you're well, over there. I love it. Like all the way over there, you're watching. You're like, okay, yeah, there's a war going on. You feel like, oh my god.
Ew.
Oh yeah,
You get up on the roof and scout the situation, make sure everyone's coming in the back door.
One-eyed Lester looks up at you from down on the ground. $5 on the militia. Anyway, so what are you doing then? Anything specific?
It's a safe bet, because if you survive, odds are they won.
What's that?
Going into battle.
All right. You guys watch as you like woo, jump off the edge, heading off towards the battle. Yeah. Woohoo! I'm not even gonna make you roll for this.
Oh,
You're like, yeah.
Is that what you intended?
Yeah.
Okay.
Noted.
Leroy.
With that said, Toma, you watch as she bucks off to battle.
I'm so shot through the staff.
You're like,
Yeah, no, that's not me though.
That's me.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Yourself?
her. You just
Oh, shit, sorry.
That's me.
Hi, how are you? Which one do you want to be today? Where are you?
I'm just weakling.
Oh shit, I put you in here. God damn it.
You're one of the 2 tieflings. Right?
I don't know why I put you in.
We got the girl tiefling and then the boy one is not here.
Fire boy! Yeah, dude.
Making a name?
So there she is, and there she goes. Meanwhile, Toma can roll me an Arcanic and a Dexterity.
I did smell celery.
Uh-oh.
6 and 6.
Whoa! What the? Oh, crap! Oh, crap. I'm not doing so good at this. But you got him out! You can't really get him in. Oh, no! One of the tiles almost breaks in half as you, like, crack it.
Well, shit.
Ooh. Actually, no, you didn't roll that. But, actually, what is your dex? Did you roll that, bud?
My dex is +1.
Okay, yeah, you didn't. You just about rolled that. Anyway, point. You bust off a bunch of these tiles from the edge of the staff, and they just fall on the ground. You pick them up, or you're grabbing them in your hand, like when you're clipping your nails and then you catch them. After a moment of this, you got 3 tiles loose. One's got a scratch from your claw on it. How do I do this then? As you're seeing, the rail is all solid all the way around, and you can't see a break in it. You can throw me investigation. Wow, you really rolled all on that.
14.
Oh, no, never mind.
That's -1.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Good, bad.
Yeah, like a Rubik's Cube that falls apart. So as you look upon the rails, you know what? Fuck it, 14 or better, right? And you see on there that there is in fact a break at the rails, and you can pull a piece of it out, letting you drop the pieces in.
All right.
I go, like, grab, these are tight. Okay. They typically wedge as they're put in, so these ones loosened up, as it were. Anyway, so you figure that out. There you go. As you stare upon the staff looking at this new discovery, you got the rail and you got the tiles situated in place.
Are the cobbles any closer? Or?
This took you 2 rounds. They got their furniture rearranged, and you're just getting to the militia. You can roll me initiative into it. Actually, no, this wouldn't even make sense. We'll just keep it the free flow as it is. So here we are. At this point, you will be here. Actually, no, I'm going to do this.
I'll prepare a rope to the railing as well. Okay, fine.
Sure. So there's kind of a gap here of about 120 feet as you've double moved 2 turns. So 60 feet and then 60 feet more. So this is 120 feet.
Okay.
And then from there to, so it goes there, this here, and you.
And then your spells.
Oh my goodness, what am I thinking?
Spells.
Okay.
I'll tell you all in one check. You do not have any spells. Okay, so. Damage spells.
Very specific miniatures that I use for this sort of thing. Alright, so there's what you encounter at the edge of it. And, not all that. Oh, actually. Can I find that guy that I wanted to pull up from that? Maybe I can pull him up, but it doesn't seem like it. Alright. Put that to the side for now. So you run up to there. Now we'll just throw that. There. And there. As it were. So the street's going this way. As you can plainly see.
Ooh, pumpkins.
Grab one. Smash someone with the pumpkin. Do it.
So again, this is 120 feet away from this. So this, nowhere near this. That said, as you rush in upon this, you see this. This is the start of your turn. You have your full actions, allotment, etc. As you see this playing out, you can plainly see who's who here. There seems to be a captain amidst them who's shouting out orders as these guys are plack, 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 one after the next, firing off arrows as these guys hold the front line against the fray. And there's just these endless groups of fucking kobolds that come out of from here and there as they head towards, and one after the next they strike upon and die pretty easily, but you can see the guys are getting worn down.
Okay.
The captain takes notice of you as you come upon, and he suddenly looks and past one guy and he draws an arrow towards you. He says, "Friend or foe! Friend or foe! Friend or foe!"
Friend!
And he points back and whack, fires out against one of the kobolds and kills it instantly.
Okay, I want to use my shield spell first.
Okay, on yourself?
Yep, on myself.
On the edge of an arcane phrase, you spread out an arcanic shield that holds against any sort of impending strikes. You feel thickened at the skin.
Perfect. And then I would like to do Ray of Sickness on the first kobold.
Alright, you blast against the impending kobolds, weakening down the stream somewhat as you fire forth. Is that a targeted spell or an aerial effect?
Targeted.
Okay.
It was for 9.
You pick out and you kill one of the kobolds with a snap of your fingers.
She's adorable. She's so cute.
Just burst in.
Hi.
Yeah, that was good.
You need to come back me up.
Yeah.
That's you all by yourself?
All by myself.
I'll
Why would you
jump
do that
down.
to yourself?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was preparing the rope was to jump down, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, I'll jump.
Really quick.
Calm down.
I'm also realizing I didn't.
What are you doing? Well, when it's your turn, you
Oh.
can choose out of your spells or what to do. You don't have to attack. You can hide in the house for all you want.
That's what I would like to do.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're adding the 4
You can keep an eye on Jasper.
I'm staying by the boy.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Jasper, and if he
Right,
turns
about
into a
the-
dragon and mutilates
Walls
you,
in
well,
there? It looks like 2 walls are sitting on him.
well, we were told to tie him down, so what better way to tie someone down than with some walls?
I think that's perfect.
With some what?
With some
You
walls.
take the
Oh, yeah.
roof off
Take the
and
roof off,
Jasper's tied down with
tie
walls.
behind the wall.
Oh yeah, exactly. You just push the walls of the room in on him. That's it.
Yeah.
He's good. Where were we though? So you snap your fingers, and one of them just drops to the ground as his little leathery body gives out. Now that said, the captain looks upon you and suddenly says, do you have any? Can you go to the church and bring the men some refreshments, some healing potions, something, anything, medical supplies? My runner is dead. Can you go to the church
Oh, yes.
and retrieve?
I will retrieve. I will yell to everyone.
Our scouts say that alleyway will take you safely there, and he points towards that alleyway.
Okay. Yeah, we'll rush.
Yep.
We're rushing out. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm rushing out.
Done. Having killed off one of the kobolds, you take the words of the captain and run towards the alleyway. The load screen pops up for you as it shows the rest of you back at the house.
Jump down and run towards the
I
quarry.
did the same.
Satisfied with what you've seen?
Using my rope that I prepared to make it simpler,
Fair enough. You slide down
and then toss it up.
and then toss the rope up. Fair enough. Oh wow, do I have that rope? Shit, that is so perfect. Oh my god, I must have missed while I looked for a rope. Oh my god.
They
Can't
put
find
in
it.
the toilet paper.
I know, right? Anything would do, but no, that's okay. Anyway, so you make your way. Done. And away you go. The moment's gone. It's past. Art is pain. So, yourself, you stare upon them as they begin to make their way away.
How far away are they?
Well, they're double moving all the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
So what do you say, eh?
I'm going to check my spells real quick and... Well then, I'm going to
Take the pumpkin.
take the...
The pumpkin might be magical.
I'm
Oh shit, what do we got here?
gonna go towards this building right here.
Oh, I already did that one. Oh, I didn't see that. Shit, man. Wait, was that this session or last session? Oh, I'll give you a new session.
What?
Or just, I'm gonna wipe out his stuff here so he can do his stuff in here. Oh yeah, that was last session. I remember that now. That was epic. Where are we then? So you guys are rushing off towards the fray as you run down the alleyway, and you are.
I want to go on top of that building.
You pursue after all of them. Hello. How are you?
She just wants to play too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People.
You should give her some fruit and veggies and be like, hey, go
Yeah.
Oh, give her a couple donuts. Give her all the sugar.
Right there.
Bag full of sugar. Here, eat the sugar.
Evil. Yeah, I remember I can use this stuff yet, but I'm just finishing up leveling up just so I have it.
Oh yeah.
I remember what this before.
As we were. Seriously adorable. Where was I then? Oh yeah, you guys are headed up.
Yeah.
And boom. You can fly?
No, I wanted to go up there, so like run and then
Yeah, fair
climb
enough.
up.
You make a beeline for the stack of boxes, seeing that it's the easiest route up.
I believe I can outpace them fairly significantly.
That's fine. We'll push you ahead.
Well, just because of the
Oh yeah, you kind
the rogue thing.
Yeah.
The cunning action thing. Right?
The what?
Can
The
I-
cunning action? Yeah, you move. You can move twice as much. I want to say,
And aren't you
or 1/3
feet or
more.
something?
30.
Because you can do a cunning action to move as well as a move, and a move. So you can double move and then cunning action.
So you can
move.
triple move.
Yeah, triple move. Thank you. And retard. So in any event. You make your way, actually entering upon the fray if you wanted, or going another direction. You can just follow in right behind her, going down the alleyway as you guys approach and see her making her way out. You follow in behind. Loading screen for you as well as you run in after her. The captain looks towards you as you run past and gives a nod, and then looks back towards the fray, and then he himself actually runs in towards to reinforce the front lines there, pulling his sword as he does so and begins taking kobold heads. Camera pans low against everyone as you guys, I'm assuming, Tona, are you sticking with her, or are you entering the fray, or are you following in on the alleyway?
I'll fall down the alleyway.
Okay, you follow down the alleyway, and load screen there. You're heading to the rooftop, or watching them all head there, do you follow in?
Rooftop, please.
Okay, athletics?
This one?
Yep.
Ooh. That is the one here. Skills. Oh, 5.
5?
Oh no.
You rush up onto the boxes, and the one just starts rotating backwards. As you land on the ground again, you can throw me a dex check to jump out of the way of the impending avalanche of crates.
Okay. I have an 8.
Hey? Total? Or are you a plus 8? For yourself.
Well, a 5 plus 3.
Oh,
saving
okay,
throw.
eight total.
Saving throw.
Yeah.
Oh, plus 5 and 5, so 10.
So 10. Okay, fair enough. So you manage to scooch out of the way as the box smashes down, and a whole bunch of apples, I want to say, burst out of them and spread all over the place. A box after that crashes down, potatoes in that one, spread around, dirt and everything still in the box. Crashes in a big pile. But that said, the camera sweeps against you to show the fray in the distance, and the captain doesn't pay any in mind, nor do the archers, as they continue to whack, whack, whack one after the next, taking out whatever they can. You guys making your way down the alley as you are. I apologize for the situation you're in, trying to see all this shit. So I'll actually try to angle it somewhat too. But you enter upon the alleyway, as it were. We'll put that button up right against it, and maybe a ways ahead here already.
Yeah.
As you're making your way through, and you're coming up there, and you're making up the rear here.
Yeah, I'm confused. Is it the
Sorry?
I should be
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, I thought you were already
ahead.
interacting with the guards.
Yeah,
Probably
I
be a
was. I
little
killed
further.
one, and then he told me to go
Oh,
away. So
Pretty much bang on. That's good enough.
Go away to get help.
Yeah, like do something else. Okay, fine.
Go to the church and get get healing potions. That's what he was saying.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
So There's gonna be a bitch to see that, but anyway. You come to the other side, where the road is adjacent. You can see the church just yonder over there. But what should you see up ahead, of all things, but... Oh, hang on. But this guy suddenly crash up top, and him situated on the back of it. I can't really. But I can dream. Somebody get that, please.
And some mini ropes. Oh, there we go.
And then where is
His ass.
we had switch this over here because it's really not the right music anymore. Hasn't been for a while. Here we go. This is a little better. Yeah, right? Well, actually, yeah. So with that said, as you rush out and you see this suddenly smash down on top, and as it does so, of course, it lets out the classic roar towards you from up on high. The guy in the background is holding on. His armor gleams with all the dents and rust that have caked upon it over the years of hard war that it's faced. His cloak flows behind him as kind of drab red that holds against the moonlight as his silhouette wavers back and forth, and suddenly the wyvern screams out and writhes around, and he jumps off as the wyvern drops off of the edge, a massive ballista bolt stuck in its throat. And all you can think to yourself as it's dropping down is, what? Who would have expected? He couldn't have seen that coming at all. There's no way, with all the ballistas in the area, there's no way he could have possibly seen that. Anyway, it drops to the ground, this massive ballista bolt in its neck, and Buddy jumps off. And he lands to the ground. He says, "Seasonings!" And he pulls out a sword from up there, and he points down towards you, and he says, "Where is it?" And his voice just echoes out from behind the mask that he has on his head. His voice just pretty much bellows out from where he stands, tinny and raspy and resonating from within that little form situated up on top of there as the wyvern writhes around on the ground and dies.
Dies. Damn you, pronoun game.
And with that said, initiative.
Okay, so I got a 14. And here you go.
Looks, what you got?
It's okay, just roll it.
Not so luxy. 5.
Not 5? That's a 5-0 number. Desentiara.
It's just a D20, right?
D20 plus your initiative bonus.
4, 6.
6 total?
Yeah.
Total?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got an 18.
For oh my god. Why can I never remember your character's last name? O'Shea?
Yes.
O'Shea. O'Shea. Okay. Every time I want to say O'Brien though.
And yours.
You got a 13, you said? 13.
I had
18.
18, and she has 17.
Are you ready then? Your character's ready? Oh, good! Fabulous. In that case...
Yeah, what is your character?
Sorry, what's your...
An elf wizard.
Describe this defender of the city.
I don't even know. I just got thrown into this.
That's fine.
How about you were a servant in the house and you're just
Okay.
trying to help?
Sounds good. There we go.
Servant in the house trying to help.
Butcher
Throw some fireballs.
I know a little magic, I can help. Like Mario. Fuck.
Yeah, okay.
Mage hand.
Oh, yeah. Jumps up
As
in
soon as
here,
you
so
know, I
the
actually
actual
get spells.
A lady wizard with big boobs.
It'll be in that pile, to be honest.
Oh, I'm not supposed to go through that list.
It's all good. I was seeing if I had anything special sitting on the shelf that would have jumped out, but I don't have any... I mean, Elven Sorceress is pretty
I got it.
straightforward.
Hang on, I got it.
Sort of humanoid figurine that you'd have a lot of.
Wizard, what's it called?
into the darkness.
Oh, jeez. I'm pretty sure I got it.
That's an old meme, man. That is an old meme. Cast magic missile at the darkness.
That
People
was-
know it, but most
it's-
people know of it rather than know it.
Yeah. I don't.
You have to very much intentionally YouTube that shit.
Yeah, at this point.
Not enough people pay homage to it. It hasn't been given an homage in quite some time, I feel like.
It's been a while, yeah.
As that guy smashes down into the ground, and you guys roll initiative as you do, and O'Shea is at an 18, and she was at a, sorry?
Sorry, what?
What was her initiative?
17.
17. Wait, what'd you name your character?
I just random did.
What'd you end up with?
Can you pronounce that?
Zinri. Zinrie.
Zinri. Very good. So 17 for Zinri and Toma. 4. Fabulous. Toma.
Off to battle!
And
Ineptly.
0. There we go. Just fit me right in the middle there.
Oh,
Again, plus
That'll
bonus.
work out.
Just smash it in the center. With that, the camera's going to lower against the scene here and show Miss O'Shea refocus herself against the stack of grace. How perfect, eh? After this epic moment, the guy smashes down
Yeah,
and what?
pumpkins.
It shows the frame in the background as the troops are fighting against the several kobolds that seem to actually be amassing now. They seem to be increasing in number, and you think, oh, I hope there's more soldiers coming. As you look out toward, as you look up towards the pile, you can make another run at it, or you could think of a different way up, or you can think of a different plan. What do you do?
Well, the boxes kind of sucked.
Do you want to try again, or do you want to do something else?
I'll try again, but like up the things beside it.
Okay.
Cart. And that's what? Acrobatics or athletics?
That's going to be athletics in this case again.
Alright, 16.
16?
Yes.
You make it up the crates easily enough, and then jump and grab a hold of the edge. Pulling yourself up to the top, you can see out across the way, over the course of the building, or over the top of the buildings on the other side of the alley here, you can see a troop of guards that have just freshly put down a bunch of kobolds. As more of them come running into here from that particular fray, the guards here are starting to fail to hold the line, and still more are pouring in from yonder. So what do? You make it up to the top easily enough. You have an action.
I'd like to use my crossbow.
Okay?
The one closest
like phantom
to this guy. Right here.
But they don't touch it.
Is it like water?
So you want to target the first guy there?
Yeah, this one right here.
Sounds good. You lower your crossbow, you pull out your crossbow and level it against the mark down below. As you sight upon him, moving towards the edge there, camera pans in behind you to show where you're about to fire.
Okay.
And you can roll to hit. Terrible. There it is. How's that?
20.
Yeah.
Fabulous. You don't have to worry about rolling the damage. It's a kobold. You fire upon him, and your crossbow staples his little head to the floor as he pops backwards in a perfect arc of blood that smashes, that sees his head smashing down into the road amidst his compatriots. A lot of them pay no mind and continue to swarm forth on the guards. And you see it's almost futile as more of them still pour in from the alleyway behind. As this all occurs, the camera pans to show a young elf situated some distance away, sneaking through the alleys, preparing to strike upon. As she watches one of the kobolds drop from the crossbow bolt atop the building, she's creeping inside. Hi there. How you doing? As you're standing right there, you suddenly realize there's somebody up top, and you look over and see an arm retract, a bolt clapped in, and then the string drawn back, and getting ready maybe for another shot. You're not sure. But that's what they're doing up there. What are you doing down here? As you square off in the alleyway, you can see many targets. You can rush in there and you can start stabbing them, or you can blast them with one of your many, many spells.
So there are spells here. You have. She has a poison spray, a magic hand, or you can do
Do you want to give a magic pimp slap? Like,
magic slap.
That sounds good to me.
Attack, cast a spell, dash, disengage, dodge, grapple, help, hide, improvise, ready, search, shove, use an object. You can also punch him in the face if you want.
Can I punch him in the face?
yeah, if you wanted.
Okay.
I mean, you're not martially trained. You're a sorcerer, right? So you're not typically. I don't know. Are you?
Fair.
Why not? You could just totally run in there and smash him in the face if you want. I don't mind. Because I mean, I just work here. It's up to you what you want to do.
Or you could poison spray them, or
Um,
do something creative with Mage Hand.
let's just do the poison spray.
Okay, sure. I actually have to look this up because. So it's gonna be a dex check on my part. How much damage is it? Does it say that for you?
It says, 10 feet, condition 12.
So go ahead and roll a d12. So that's gonna be that one there. And one damage. Fabulous. The poison spray blasts out from the alleyway, but most of it gets caught on the edge of the building and kind of sprays off over there, and you're like, what am I doing? But it doesn't cause that much damage. It sprays against the kobolds who look over towards you, and they both come charging in towards you from the one side as they sight upon. The camera panning against the moment. Is there anything else that you wanted to do? Do you have any other spells, I wonder? These guys close the distance, coming rushing in towards you. The three of them, sure. Meanwhile, these guys continue as they are. You watch as these guys rush in upon her. Actually, you know what? This guy's gonna stick back. Yeah, he doesn't belong with Ray. I'll just leave it with the two. It's fine. This guy's continuing his thing here. But he's gonna turn you up there. As he fires upon, you watch as a stone that you think comes whipping past you, but as it goes by, you smell sulfur as it soars past. You smell sulfur and watch as there's this like goo that drips out. And a moment later it poofs in the air over there. Just poof, exploding ever so slightly. If there can be such a thing as a slight explosion. Looking over towards that fray there, it's going to be a 3 again and a 9. Actually, I think they have their pack tactics, so they have their advantage. Yes, they have advantage while within, yes, and that's going to be a hit, and that's going to be a hit, yes. Alright, terrific. Welcome to the game. This is how it goes. You jump in, you're like, hey, how does this game work? And then they start stabbing you. So with that said, is it D4 or 6?
By the way, we're just gonna drop you in a war and you're gonna get stabbed.
You don't mind, do you? You do it for fun. I mean, really, that's what D&D is about. I set up a story and then invite my friends over to kick its ass. It's true. Come on over and save the day. My villains need to get trounced. So, one after the next, they stab towards you. Try as you might to pull them off with your weapons in your hand. What do you use for weapons, actually?
I don't think I picked him.
Oh, really? Oh, well, you should do that.
Yeah.
That's definitely something you should do. It's a good start. With that said, though, you're also going to take 4 damage. Oh, no. Yep, 6 damage.
Armor is probably also relevant.
That's in equipment, right?
Yes. So when you get a chance, 6 damage is what you've been stabbed for by the impending kobolds that have come upon you. From there, you guys see the knight up on high. He steps over towards the air, and this music is just lame. What is this? What is this? I need epicness.
Victory.
Yeah. As you look up towards him, and the weaver sits bleeding on the ground, he simply jumps off and lands on his corpse. As it collapses with a crunch underneath, he just stands up and rushes in towards you. Getting to about here, he's out of movement, but he just whips a short sword at you.
Yeah, shielding.
With a 14 plus bonus, he's gonna hit for a 19 against your AC. Does that actually penetrate your shield?
I don't even think I have the shield on.
Oh, you should be throwing it.
Spell or reaction?
What am I looking for?
So you cast shield, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a plus 5 to your AC. So what's your AC?
It'll be 19.
It'll be 19? Yeah, so I would hit you, but I don't actually have, hang on, when you throw a non-thrown, you know what, I'm gonna say it's a dagger. So I throw a dagger because I can't remember the rules on throwing a non-thrown. I think it's a disadvantage. It is a disadvantage. In any event, he whips the short sword through the air, but he has to do it at a disadvantage, so with his bonus, he's going to get a 14, not a 19. The short sword smashes against your shield and then begs against it. Boom! Smacking into the shield against and hanging in midair. And I'm going to turn that down. As epic as that is. That's it though. He whips the short sword towards you and it just embeds itself in your shield as the shield slowly pushes it out and it just clatters to the ground. The background opens up to show two things. Number one, camera pans in on this guy over here. How you doing? As these guys pour in, as this guy walks in, a little robed kobold steps into view through the alleyway, and he throws back his hood, and you can see he's got a crown of red sigils inked on his forehead, and suddenly, yeah, these guys come running in as a horde through the alley, rushing towards you. That guy's nice, he's colored. From there, the camera's going to swing over to you. As you square off against him, the camera coming in low. Showing you from the
building
windows.
becoming transparent.
Yeah, it shows you from the windows of the building. See, it's like hooded. You're inside the building, everyone. Oh, actually, I don't know what that looks like. Maybe that looks like hell. Nothing. That's my friend. You're looking through the window. Oh, look at that. There's war in the street. We're having fun.
Okay, I will do shoot out magic missile.
Alright. You aim towards him. Or do you? Do you actually aim this thing? What does your magic missile look like?
Does it look like?
Yeah, magic missile is kind of just an energy bolt. It can look like whatever the caster wants it to look like.
Oh.
It could look like a bunch of pencils. It could look like a bunch of boat anchors. It could look like a bunch of flaming skulls.
I'd like it to be like a bunch of bowling balls.
Okay, fair enough. Like cannonball type of things?
Yeah,
Or actually have holes for like...
No fingers. Why not?
Like giant fingers? You're pointing a finger and giant fingers fly out?
Yeah, there we go.
Does it shape to each finger so it'd be like do a thumb magic missile or something? I don't know. Anyway, I'm having more fun with it than you were. But you fire out some fingertips. As you aim towards, and a moment later an ethereal dart fires forth, you get 5d4 plus 1 apiece.
Oh, yeah.
That's a d6.
What?
You want the triangular one?
Oh, this one?
Yep, one of
Maybe
these.
I don't have...
Golf drops.
There you go.
Can I use them?
Yep, there you go. Rolling the dice is like part of the reason a lot of people don't use magic missile.
Takes a lot of dice.
7,
Not
10.
very easily visible.
10?
10.
Okay. Alright. As you 10 damage upon the knight there it is. With your magic missiles embedding themselves in his armor. He's like, plack, 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 as one after the next 5 missiles embed themselves in his armor, one after the next, the arcanic darts smacking into him. He vibrates in place and shouts out in pain. Is there anything else you're doing, though?
No, I think that's good for now.
Okay. Did you want to move to any position?
Oh yeah, I get a move and then a attack and then a move again.
If you've got movement left over, you can take it again. You can,
totally, yeah.
You
I
can
want to
finish
get
it out.
out of the way of this guy now.
How much movement do you have?
60?
Well, no, if
You have 30 feet per movement, and then so if you've moved 30 feet, that's your move action. If you're
Okay.
using your standard for you have a standard action, right? And you use that for casting spells or attacking or whatever, you can opt to use that for movement instead. And so that's how you get 60 feet is by using 30 and 30.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So in
I'll
this
be
case,
30 feet away from him then, in this direction.
okay, you haven't moved yet. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So that's, yeah, you absolutely can get to about midway down the building, rushing this way. As you leave his presence, he just eyeballs you as you do so, and then he looks down the alleyway towards where your compatriot's coming from, and he seems to almost look directly past you, at you. And he swings the sword once, now that he has it out. Meanwhile, the kobolds, raging through, give way to Lux. I can't pull the camera there, but Lux, you're up.
Alright, what's the measure stuff?
Right here, sir.
So I need to do a full double move just to get onto this guy. I will instead take my...
As you bring yourself into position against the building's edge, the camera pans against you, showing your compatriot making her way down the street towards the church. You can see kobolds being slaughtered outside the church from even here.
Did I... Okay, slightly meta. Did I get the daggers from our tiefling because he was going to give them to me? I don't know
Sure.
whether he did or
That's
not
fine.
before he bubbled.
He totally gave it to you.
Alright, so I quickly draw my daggers and throw them upon the knight.
Okay.
19 and not enough on the second one.
Okay.
So the first daggers, presuming 19 hits.
19 totally smokes him, yeah.
Yeah. So the first dagger thrown towards him, dealing what's the bonus for this? Right? So it's checking. 8 damage as the dagger strikes upon his shoulder.
Very nice, and it embeds himself in him.
And the soft piano.
Sorry, how much damage total? 8?
8.
8. Nice. As the blade swirls forward through the air, spinning and smacking into his shoulder, he reacts to it. Hurrah! He yells out as this occurs. A spurt of black ichor sprays from his shoulder onto the ground in the dirt, almost kerneled in its appearance. As this happens, the camera sweeps over to show Toma just yonder down the alley.
Alright. I'll move my 30 feet as much as I can,
Okay?
and I'll grab one of my javelins and throw it out.
You do so heroically. It sails away.
14.
14 just barely misses him. As it sails in, he swings his sword, smacking against it, deflecting it out of the way. Okay?
If I goodbye my javelin, he'll be slowly.
As it embeds in the dirt next to him, the camera sweeps to show Lady O'Shea standing upon the building over top the city some distance away. It shows the fray of the many knights, the militiamen and whatnot, doing their best to hold against the line of kobolds battling against them.
Okay, well, I'm gonna aim at the little red one by Zinri
Okay?
with let me see, how far does that go? It goes 60 feet vicious mockery.
Okay.
So I'm gonna insult them and hurt their feelings.
With a
Physically
shrill
cause
voice
them
and a
damage.
sharp word, you hurl out against the kobold, catching its attention. And
Alright.
I gotta make myself a save, I believe. I'm gonna fail. And you're gonna roll me some damage.
Okay.
And we'll see if you make his brain pop.
This one, right?
D12 for Vicious Mockery?
No, that's, I don't know which one to use.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, wow.
Vicious Mockery, baby.
One
Don't fail me,
D4.
Google. 1d4? Okay, cool.
So that would be this.
Yes, please.
Okay. So 3! And... That's with the initiative?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 7.
So, oh no, that's just normal like it is. So he
Oh,
takes the
okay.
3 damage,
Okay.
and he's distracted in this. As he looks towards you, he gets punched in the face by one of his nearby compatriots. His snout begins to bleed as he looks up towards you blearily, and then focuses back on you best he can. But he's got disadvantage on his next attack as a result.
Okay.
So with 3 damage, I mean, he's gonna die on his next hit, so... With that said, the camera sweeps to show Zinray down below as you watch the one kobold get bopped in the face as you prepare to.
You gonna beat him when he's down, or you gonna beat the other one? What you gonna do?
I'm gonna melee attack.
Yep. You take a melee strike with
Oh
one
my
of your
God,
weapons.
Sorry. Pardon me?
So, did you grab any gear?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be making a melee strike with one of your weapons. So have you equipped any of the gear, though? So what did you grab for a weapon? It's all good. What did you grab for a weapon?
I think I just grabbed crossbow.
You grabbed a crossbow?
Yeah.
So you want to shoot your crossbow at one of the dudes here?
Yeah.
That's fine. The only issue is you're right up close, right? So firing at point blank is a bit of a challenge. So you actually roll at disadvantage. So it's a bit of a risk. Do you want to take that risk? Or do you want to try something else? You could throw for a dagger. I don't know if you took any sort of melee weapon.
I took it.
You could just punch him in the face.
So a dagger, you can do a d6. You'll probably end up killing him.
Okay.
So you take this die right here, your d20. You make a roll with that. We're going to see if you hit him. Now it's going to be your dexterity plus your proficiency. You go ahead, roll that die. Terrific stuff. With a 5 plus your, in this case, the arm strike is 2. Terrific stuff. Unfortunately, you miss. As you pull the dagger out and you take a wild strike towards that one, he dodges to the one side as his friends move away and come in towards you. In this moment, as you look upon the scene, the two of them are facing off against you, and the one comes in to strike. Still bleary in the face, he leaps up towards you and you easily dodge the swing that comes towards. The other one, actually, should have just rolled normally. So the other guy actually misses too. As a result, the both of them, one after the next, attempt to strike at you as you guys exchange swings, neither hitting the other. The camera sweeps over to show the rest of the fray here continue on, as the one in the background fires another shot off towards Julia up top. With again a 4 plus bonus, he sets up another of these strange objects and hurls it towards you. The pot sails past you, whoosh, flying away as again the smell of sulfur suddenly envelops you, and then a moment later, poof, off in the distance it explodes ever so slightly. With that said, the camera sweeps over yonder, showing the one knight moving towards Lux. Say, damn you! Pulls the knife out, and then switches over the knife. Switches over the sword to the other hand, pulls the knife out, and then switches back and comes running in towards you, taking a mighty swing as he does. With his 6 plus bonus, he misses as you duck down and his sword smashes into the side of the building, cleaving through the stone as it does so. It suddenly explodes with a black flame as it chops through, leaving a valley in the stone. He rears back and he hacks down once more with a 13 plus bonus, bringing him to all of 18 against your AC.
Okay, 16, so like.
As the blade sinks into your flesh for 4 damage, it explodes with 5 more for 9 total. He pulls the blade back, the cleft piece of your flesh giving way to it, searing with pain as the armor just barely kept it from piercing you. As the valley against you bubbles out, the little bit of broken parts of you adjust, and he laughs mightily. Ah, where is it? He points a threatening metal finger up towards you from under his red robes, and the camera pans to Dyson Terra, running towards the church. As the kobolds rush in behind you, as they rush in towards you, do they have that much movement? Hang on, maybe they don't.
That's actually more distance than...
Yeah, no, they don't have that. They give chase, but they're not going to catch you yet. Ah!
Okay, I am going to cast...
This guy comes running forward.
Ray of Sickness upon... the closest guy, or this little red dude here.
Okay.
2d8. Which one's an 8? This one?
So you're casting which? Yeah, there.
Oh my god.
What you cast?
1!
Ray of Sickness.
Oh my goodness. A lot of ones going around tonight. It's unfortunate. I make my save. I take half of 1, which is 1. Round it down. So in any event, he stops, gives a cough, and says, I don't feel so good, and then continues the attack. He writes to his boss, and his boss says he can't get time off. Fucking always the way.
Make a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah, which I did. I actually rolled 15 plus bonus. Well, actually minus bonus, I think. Or maybe plus 1. I think kobolds have a plus 1. Hello.
Regardless, adequate.
Alright. Where are we then? So this guy rushes in, does his thing. You Ray of Sickness out against the kobolds. The swarm of them coming in towards you.
Okay, I want to do Acid Splash now. Splash them good.
What did you just cast? Ray of Sickness. Was that considered a...
that was a
bonus action? Or was that a normal action?
No, that was just a
cantrip?
spell.
Was that a normal
spell?
spell?
Click on the spell.
Pardon?
Just click on the spell.
Well, does it have a level or is it a cantrip?
Action.
Okay. And is it a cantrip?
No.
Okay, yeah, no. Then that's that for casting spells this turn, unfortunately.
I thought you could do a spell and a cantrip.
Oh, do you have a cantrip that you want to cast?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't... Which one is it you're casting then?
Sorry, now I went to the wrong...
That still has to be a faster action.
You can do it... Yeah, no, you can do a
Acid
cantrip...
Splash?
So you can do a cantrip as a full action, and then a spell as a bonus action. So the spell has to be a bonus action, so the level spell, right? So be it level 1, 2, 3, 4, that has to be a bonus action, and then you can use a cantrip as your standard action.
You just use one spell and then
I
one
fucking hate
cantrip.
that rule. I want everyone to know that. I hate that rule, and I'm so sorry for that.
Okay, so then
it
we're
is
done
a
with
very
specific spell.
So,
done with actions.
that's what I was saying. Sorry about that. But in any
you
event...
want to move.
Yeah, you can continue to run towards the church. In fact, if you look towards, you're pretty sure you see the militiamen and some archers within the churchyard ahead.
Ooh, okay.
Also try to duck
Yeah,
behind the
I'm gonna go...
So that way.
What?
Yeah, that way's the church.
Oh, I wanted to get out of range.
Oh! Yeah. No, fair enough. So you disappear around the alleyway? Okay. Fair enough. I'm misreading what you're doing. My apologies. So that said, though, you deke around the alleyway and disappear from view. Do you want to just go around the corner, or do you want to, like, go in the building or down the alleyway?
Oh, I'm heading towards the church, but I'm just around the corner, so I don't
Church is
get
that
hit
way.
by the...
That's why I was saying the church is that way.
Oh, like this way.
It's across the street. It's just yonder.
Oh, here?
It's supposed to be, like, where your salad is.
I wanted to go, like, here and then there.
That's fine.
I mean...
I'm good with that. I'm just telling you where the church is. I just work here. I'm sorry. Point being, though, you deke to the one side. The kobold's like, what the hell? Totally disappeared from you. That's as far as they can go. Actually, that's as far as they're willing to go. They watch you disappear from view, and they don't give chase. Or would they split? Actually, I'll do that.
Did we miss Stonewall last round?
No.
No?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's over to Lux.
Okay.
As Dyson Terra disappears from view and the kobolds take the moment to observe the situation, you...
Okay. Quickly drawing both rapiers from my hip, slicing in one Swift motion.
Okay. So quick scissor swipe.
Yeah, so 16 on the first one, and less on the second.
What'd you get on the first one?
16.
Hits.
Oh, then the second is going to be 14.
Gonna miss by 2.
Okay.
16 hits dead on.
Okay.
With that said, as you draw both your weapons, he sees this impending and moves to stop you. You manage to actually fake out against the defense he brings as he plunges the blade towards you. The both of you exchange blows, and it ends up with him cleft against his armor. He shouts out in pain as his pauldron rattles, and he brings his arm around to try and elbow you away. As you roll damage was...
Okay.
11 plus for 11. Holy crap! He stumbles backwards, holding his chest as you've cleft against him, and his pauldron. He's just holding himself like this as he steps backwards. How dare you! He yells from underneath his helmet. You can't see his face, but you can hear the frustration seething from underneath the tin casing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The cunning action disengage just lets you disengage. It's not actually a movement.
It's not actually a movement, no.
So there's no point in me doing that because that would be bad.
You don't want to move?
Leaving his threat would be bad.
Disengage lets you then run away.
Oh, so it does give you a movement, actual movement itself.
No. You have movement, though. You haven't moved.
But I use both weapons.
Oh, hi, yes, that's true. Sorry, my bad. Bonus action. Worst DM ever. My apologies.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, fair enough. With that said,
Holding my ground against you.
terrific. And Toma.
Alright, do I have enough movement to reach him?
You two. You can close the
Alright, then
distance.
I'll reach him and attack him with my longsword.
Toma's heavy feet suddenly are audible within range, closing the distance, and then a sudden thrust of his blade coming into view as he brings it to bear for a nat 20 into the fellow. As he tries to recoil, his robes writhe around him like a snake about to attack. As they grasp against his front facade, he tries to whirl around to accept the
Throwing
blow.
a divine smite in there.
Oh my god. But you fake him out. Pulling back at the last second, there's a sudden shout out, and before you know it,
Or...
it's a holy smite.
17 for just the longsword, and with the holy smite's 7.
That's cool. I don't mind at all. Yeah, whatever. No, seriously, that was epic. So
need some description.
it shows this guy. It shows you cleft against him, as I was saying. He's holding himself. He's trying to muscle you away when Toma just suddenly comes in. Ah, gotcha. Just smashes. What do you do anyway? Just uppers? Okay, fair enough.
I'm running and upwards like that.
With a glowing arc that sails through him, the blade cuts across him as though it was butter that it were cutting. He splits, falling apart. His robe sails away in one direction, his pauldrons and armor, helmet flying yonder, and an arc of blood following it. The arc of energy coming off of it makes for this crazy sort of flower pattern in midair that you kind of can peer around the corner if you want to check it out. Actually, it's just like shining epic style. In any event, so that guy falls over dead a moment later as his armor clatters to the ground. The rest of him soon follows. A puddle spills out, and the kobolds look over. And they start backing up, unbelieving the situation. As suddenly the robed one yells out, yelling towards them, all of you, back to work, he says. Back to the war. Anyway, so with that said, Gander sweeps. That was Toma? Yeah. Anything else to declare? Shows Lady O'Shea. Off top.
On my back, like, yo.
You hear something incredible from yonder, something angelic and beautiful, and then deadly and horrible. Anyway, so with that said,
Okay. I am. Let's see. I have 4 attacks, actions. I'll do a crossbow damage to the red one because you said the next hit will kill it.
totally.
So, and that is D20?
It is. You pop a bolt in, pull back the string, and fire true. The bolt strikes into the kobold. Roll me damage. D6 plus your dexterity. Or is it a D8? Is it a full crossbow? Or you tell me. Don't listen to
Crossbow
me.
light.
Okay,
1d8.
Is it D8?
That's
Oh yeah, it is D8. Because there's hand crossbow and then there's light crossbow.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, hand crossbow is
And then
D6.
what's
Always
heavy
messes.
hand?
Because then there's heavy crossbow.
So
And in the
it
middle
says +3, and I got a 1, so that's 4.
4? Perfect. With the 3 that he taken before, plus the 1 from the ray of sickness that I think you hit him with the ray of
No, she
No,
was
shoot.
And that was
That was
the
over
red
there.
guy.
Never mind. Totally different battle.
She
But in any
hit her
event,
face.
I thought somebody did 1 damage over here.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, it was.
I just don't know what
That was
she
the poison.
attacked.
In any event, he drops as the bolt staples through the side of his head. You watch as he's suddenly tunneled from ear to ear, and wavering for a moment as his synapses fail, he drops a second later.
I do get a bonus action, and within 60 feet I can heal someone. I do believe she's close enough. Could you measure, please?
Oh, she's definitely close enough.
Oh, okay. I know she has 6 hit points that would take
That's
it
60
away.
feet. She's good.
Okay, cool. I would like to use a healing word on her.
That's awesome. With that said,
1d4.
you focus your energies out towards your mark, and
1 plus 3, so 4.
so you're healed for 4 points of damage. So you had taken 6 before, so you're 2 down now. With that said, from Lady O'Shea over to Zin Ray.
So your hit points.
Click on it, and then you can scroll right down.
Okay. That's how you can keep track. Instead of writing it all down on a piece of paper.
How did you do that?
You just yeah.
Come to think of it, do I have room? I think both my games are full. No, we've got 6 here, and we've got 6 to manage it. I think I'm full on both games right now. Alright, never mind. Yeah. Someone was asking if they could join in. I was like, yeah, no, actually. Sorry, where are we? Zinray, how are you? What's up? What's going on? Tell me about your heroism.
So I don't know what I should do.
Alright, so this guy's dead because I killed him, right?
So here you go back.
Hi, thank you.
Corpse.
The game engine just, yeah, I was going to
Corpse
say.
fades into the ground, can't keep all that in memory at the same time.
Just kind of fades away, right?
No, it's just the wind picks it up and just buries it underneath the dirt.
There you go, polygon by polygon, it just disappears away. It becomes a nearby crate.
I would recommend doing a fire.
The game just memory addresses it differently.
Yep.
within range, and that would be a 1d10.
Okay, so I'm doing a firebolt.
Okay. You focus inwards, bringing forth your arcanic energies. You ignite your hands and thrust forth. With a wave of your hand, the firebolt sails, but you also need to roll to hit.
Okay.
So I need a d20 too.
There we go.
And that was a +5.
20.
Ooh, very nice. The kobold suddenly shouts towards you. Just pops, exploding as the firebolt strikes against him and leaves behind a smoldering set of footwear.
So he's dead.
Oh, very much so.
These guys don't have a lot of health.
No, they're not. Fine, they're popcorn. But that said, you don't like that noise?
Right? Every time I'm like, ugh.
Spin around, but apparently that's a bad
Keeps you on your
choice.
toes. That's what it does right here. Gotta be ready for a fight. So with that said, though, he explodes away as you pop him with a firebolt. Camera, anything else to declare? No, you're done, eh? Camera pans to show the rest of them in the distance as the one fires another pot towards you with a crit fail. He goes to load it up, swings, right, looks down, rolls a dex save, rolls a 12. He dives to the side as it pops and doesn't cause him any harm, fortunately. You watch as he lands to the one side there. If somebody wants to just put him prone over to the side, that's fine. So that one in the background, that guy right there, just lie him down. So he jumps to the one side. That one looks over towards him, just goes to face palm. These guys continue to battle, but one thing you're noticing as they're starting to fall back a little bit. And these guys are starting to press in. And these guys move backwards. This guy actually moves in to defend them. As these guys are moving upon, this guy shouts out and then suddenly drops backwards, clattering to the ground. As this occurs, that one in the background screams victoriously, "Nya-nya!" And you watch as the captain shouts out, "We need reinforcements now!" And he pulls a horn out and gives up. With that said, Lenny O'Shea, you can still see that there's a bunch of soldiers yonder, and they're starting to respond at this point, coming around to bring up the rear. You start to see them become visible. What did I do with all of them? Did I just put them away? What is, I just put them away. So you can see these guys coming through.
What manner of weapon was the sword that the knight was swinging?
The sword that the knight was? It looked like a short sword. It was a short sword with a black flame coming off of it.
Alright.
That said, that is those guys. I'm just going to sweep back over here. And I'm just going to show this fellow. He points towards Toma as these guys come rushing in. One after the next, they close in around the two of you. He's going to fire off. As these guys are coming rushing in, this guy targets upon looks, and I need a dex check of 12 or better. 12 or better, yeah.
Well, those failed.
Yeah.
So you made it?
Failed.
Really?
11?
Oh, wow, I was surprised actually.
Yeah, not another, but it's all.
Alright, fair enough. As this comes flying towards you, there's a sudden thunderclap of energy as he throws what looks like a small, shining piece of metal. Where? Oh, there it is. Wow. 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 8 total damage blasts against you.
As I collapse to the ground from the exploding.
You watch a shard of metal just suddenly explode from the little kobold's hand as it's hurtled through the air. Lightning arcs off it as it embeds itself in his chest and it falls
As I attempt
backwards.
to dodge off the building, but it collapses under the damage from the earlier strike, causing me to fall on my face as the
There you go.
explosion happens 3 inches away.
And with that, there was one. The kobolds shout out with glee and begin working their magic one after the next, setting upon you. There's a 19 and a nat 20 in there as they strike into you one after the next.
Damn, I need your armor.
The one guy gets a 6 plus 2 for 8, and the last guy gets another 4 total. So, what did I say? So 12 total damage is incurred upon poor Toma as they set into him one after the next, stabbing.
I'm still alive.
They're still alive? Holding fast against their strikes. They continue to do their best, but it's not enough to down you. From there, it's over to you. O'Shea, once again, how'd you do?
Should we be Decentra at this point if the damage
Oh, sorry, my bad. What am I doing? Hi, Decentra. I
Oh,
don't know
hi.
why I thought Toma just went. My bad. Sorry.
Cool.
I just hit you. What am I doing?
Yeah,
Sorry.
and then you skip.
I'm just gonna grab something to drink. I'll be right back.
I'm not very good at not getting knocked down.
Yeah, I think we should have had like a rest at some point, or some point should have been considered a
That
long
would have been
rest.
very nice, because then I would have actually gotten my spells and gotten, like, ridiculously stronger.
Yeah.
In between what? Like last round?
Yeah, like from last week's to now. 'Cause I don't think we took the long rest.
No, we
Anyway.
just got... Yeah, no, that's why I'm not officially level 3 yet.
Yeah, and that's why only 7 hit points took you out, eh? As well.
No, I took 2 separate hits.
Oh, yeah.
I was full for my 16 health originally. Lucy. Clever.
God, stop!
Why does it move every time you sit down? It hates me. It's like every
This is
time.
hilarious.
I think you doing it on purpose.
Enjoy the agony layers.
Alright, I'm gonna peek over the edge and then I'm gonna cast.
You can see your compatriot's feet sticking out like the Wicked Witch of the West. It seems pretty bad, as you also see spears sticking out of him. He usually keeps them in the pouch. Just saying. I don't know, it's a fashion thing. Yeah, it's over there. It's over there. It's convenient. Over there. Way over there.
Like Tank Barrel.
Marked off any of your used spells.
Do you put tassels on them?
Remembers
Well, I
that.
know which ones I've used.
Well, it's not about what spells you use. Each one is a slot. You can repeat
No,
the
these are
same
dumb. Don't
spell.
laugh at these. These are stupid. Don't laugh.
Each time you cast a spell, it uses one.
There it is.
They're judging us. The internet's judging us. I don't care. Oh my goodness. I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah,
Snare
cast
originally.
3.
Yes, each time you just do that. I'm assuming that the web app doesn't blow up with some error code.
What have you done?
Yeah, their webpage does blow up sometimes.
What, D&D Beyond? Whenever you come back and there's no CSS, and you gotta refresh it before it all comes back, right?
No, like I was just clicking a spell slot used to show her how it worked, and it's like, an error has occurred, here's a code.
Oh, then I have
But I do get that from time to time, actually, when I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
reference
yeah,
material.
one
It's
more.
weird when it does do that. Where are we then? So,
Yeah, I was peering
Yes.
over
Yes,
the
you were.
edge, and then I was gonna shoot magic missile into these 3 dudes.
awesome, awesome. You got 5d4. Let's make it up. Actually, you can up that, I think. If you've got a second level spell slot, you can add a d4, but you gotta burn the spell slot to do
No,
it.
I only have 1 spell slot.
Fair enough. So you gotta do what you gotta do, and it's gonna be 5d4 that you're doing it with.
Okay.
5d4 plus 1 apiece. So.
Okay. So 6 for one,
Mhm.
2 for the other,
Those are
and
D6s.
So one of them drops with those first 2 missiles.
which one can
Oh, the D4 for magic missile, remember?
I? Oh, whoops, wrong dice.
What were you rolling?
She was
Oh,
rolling
she was on a
six.
d6. Oh, okay,
Sorry.
fair enough. I didn't even think that you did 6 damage there.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. K2.
Alright.
4 to the other one,
Okay, he drops,
and 4 to the other one.
and that one drops. So one after the next, you fire this out, and thump, thump, each of them,
Popping some heads.
each of them drops over with a wound spraying out as they do so, their little bodies giving away under the force of the arcanic strike.
Any particular creativity to these ones?
You can just change them up, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess so. What? No, they're just gonna be like sparkly.
Okay, that's
like
fine. Just like
sparkly,
a
pokey things.
That's totally fine. What color, let's say?
They're gonna be bright pink.
Sounds good.
Yes.
So
Nice.
bright pink,
Pink
sparkly,
death spears.
arcane darts of death soar away and strike into the kobolds, one after the next. Take them off the board, moments, whichever two you like. And so those ones drop away. As you watch this occur, Toma, much to your relief,
That
the
one's
camera
in,
swoops
I
away
guess.
from Dysentera and you to show looks on the ground next to you. Next to you. Looks.
I'm
Okay, and as I struggle with my
Oh, sorry.
wounds from the.
I just want to say, just as you're about to have your turn, you hear a sudden, "This cannot be," and this voice from the back, accompanied by this fellow here, coming into view. The camera pans to show the fellow, the orc, in the helmet, but he's not wearing the helmet, just his robes. He comes forward and sparks out a quick word upon your compatriot on the ground. You're at 5 hit points.
Ooh, yay! Not dead.
And coming forward a little further, he says, "Not today!" And he inspires you with leadership to attack again. So that's his ability.
Okay.
He's going to make you attack.
Oh, alright.
So he heals you and he makes you attack. You
Makes
can go
it-
ahead and
makes
take a
me
swing.
Okay, so a quick. And
And then you have
my
bombs.
action, I guess.
Oh.
Okay, so I quickly raise, grabbing my rapier from the ground as I do, and in a single motion striking upon the injured kobold in front of me,
Oh my goodness.
and smacking the wall.
Next to the kobold in front of you. Heroically, though, I want to say. You do it heroically. As you strike into the wall there, and you watch as Toma
I rolled 17 plus 5. So
hits.
Hits.
So that any damage you do is going to off him, but go ahead and roll it. Fabulous
4
stuff.
plus 5,
You
9.
take off what counts as a kobold head, and he falls, his little body going limp with a geyser of blood. With that said, kind of sweeps over to the one side to show the open courtyard.
Or do you want a
This
full
fellow
size
here,
donut?
looking around at his odds, doesn't seem to like them. From there, the camera pans over the rooftops to show Lady O'Shea up top. With the fray at hand, you see the reinforcements coming from the one side and these guys losing on that.
Alright, so I guess I'm going to come back down the way I came
Okay. You run off
and then
the
go
edge.
like somewhere over here.
Do you want to land, I'm assuming, in the cart?
Yeah, that looks safer than boxes.
You land in the fruits and whatnot on the wagon. A particularly large and robust pumpkin breaks your fall without issue.
That's great. Now I smell like pumpkins. Is that like the
And you
entire
thought they
movement,
smelled
or-
good on the outside. Sorry?
Can I go like right about here?
You're such a mess.
You
I hate the smell of pumpkins.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What about pumpkin spice?
No.
No,
Big
no.
pumpkins.
Okay, carbon pumpkin's different.
We'll just give you a nose blow on Halloween.
Okay.
Nose plug.
Exploding them is good.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, 30 on 6. I did it once. It was like, it just kaboom.
You
I've
blew up a pumpkin?
Yeah, shot it with the 30 on 6.
That's awesome, actually.
I was like, well, like, I like. Oh no. Is it 30 on 6 or whatever. Big gun.
Yeah, fair. It blew up a pumpkin, so it's...
It's an elephant.
I pin cushion it with my bow fairly often. I always love grabbing them up at the end of the
I haven't
Halloween.
fired my bow in an age. Oh my god.
What do you
I've got
got?
2 of them, actually.
What do you got?
They're both recurves, though. Nothing compound or fancy.
I've been thinking about getting a compound just as awesomeness for the wall.
Is it 60 feet to this one?
Easily, and then some.
Alright, then I'll shoot him with a with a vicious
You jump
mockery.
down, joining the firing line amidst the archers, and release a bolt amidst them at the impending horde. You rolled a what now? Your d20? Mwah.
16.
Terrific. You strike ever so true.
Excellent.
As the bolt smacks into your opposition, roll me some damage.
Never tried that.
Sorry,
Pumpkin pie
Alright,
cheesecake is
dual
wicked.
accepted.
Okay, to be honest, I like pumpkin.
1d8.
I didn't want to put a horse in the race, but I like
That's
it.
delicious.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie.
It is. 9? The guy's dead as dead can be. As the bolt slaps through his skull, wetly burrowing a hole through it, the bolt careens off and slaps into the road some way down the way. With that said, though, the single kobold a moment later wavers and falls backwards in his armor. The soldier in front of him about to stab him swings mightily into the next one around as you,
Are there any soldiers around here that are needing...
They all look fucked up.
Okay.
What is your cast?
Like, just to illustrate, the one guy, the captain there, he's been fighting for however long now, and he's like, desperately trying to hold it together, yelling out to his men inspirationally occasionally.
Because I'm pretty sure you have to... Well, because she shot, she has to use her move action to load the crossbow.
No, it was, isn't it free action? I'm pretty sure it's you can fire once a turn, free action. Loading just means you can only fire if you have... Hang on, now I gotta double check this. I'm pretty sure
Because I thought that was what the...
thought loading was a free thing, but hold on.
I thought it was
You
your
get
move action.
once... Shooba-dooba-doo.
Whereas the heavy one's like a full action.
It's better than the old.
Yeah.
No, it's, yeah, let's put those on.
Which is like, yeah, kind of impractical.
Because of the time required, you can fire only one piece of ammunition when you use an action, bonus action, or reaction to fire it, regardless of the number of actions you can normally take. Yeah, so you can fire it. You don't have to spend an action to load it, but no matter how you're firing it, because of loading, you can only fire it once per turn.
Oh, cool.
So there you go. Yeah, it doesn't cost you an action or anything to load it. It's just cinema that I say you're loading a shot in there.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they changed that.
Okay.
That's
Compared to
I think with the heavy crossbow, it's a full action to load it.
well, with the heavy action. Yeah, with
the
the heavy
loading
crossbow.
attribute, yeah.
Okay,
No, that
so
is the loading attribute that I just quoted you right there.
Okay,
Loading
cool.
attribute. So that's legit. We're good.
And I've used Healing Word already. Like, can I use that as many times as I want?
Healing Word's a cantrip, is it not?
On me, it's a spell, first level spell.
Okay, then you're using a first level slot every time you cast it.
Okay, so it's every slot, every time I use.
It's a bonus action.
Oh, maybe I don't want to do that then. Action. Bonus action. Can I inspire the soldiers near me?
Yeah, actually, that would be great. You want to
Okay.
buff them up with a little song and dance?
Yeah.
By all means, story performance. Or do you want to use a bardic power that I'm not aware of?
Bardic inspiration.
Sure.
A creature within 60 feet.
If you want to
of
burn
you.
one, if you want to burn a bardic inspiration on this, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Okay. That would be a 1d6.
No, you just have to say you're giving it. I'm pretty sure.
It's a buff.
Yeah. So you're spending it on them?
Yeah, I'll spend it on the guy with the spear.
Okay. So you yell out, throw me performance on this while you're at it.
Okay.
Being that you're a bird.
Just start with the d20.
14.
It'll be about 20-ish.
Fabulous. You're an orator, right? You're like epic poems and whatnot?
19.
Okay. You shout out inspirational speeches as a bard might do in this circumstance, shouting out about their heroism, about what they mean to the people, about what this moment will mean to them, about what this is all going to resonate as in the stories, the annals of time, etc., etc. As you do this, and it's epic sounding, they all seem to remuster themselves. Even the guy who you thought dead on the ground suddenly kicks and throws a rock at the kobold here that falls backwards. Well, fall backwards, Danny. This is an inspirational moment for the kobold. No respect, little buggers. Anyway, that guy gets up onto his feet, gives you the metal thumbs up, and continues to fight on. And with that said, it's from Lady O'Shea to yourself. If you could regale us with your tale of heroism.
I'm gonna crossbow that guy
Clapping a bolt into your crossbow, you draw back the string, level, and fire with a d20 roll. Alright there. Fabulous. The bolt flies away and strikes into your opposition. Roll me the damage, which is going to be a d8. Sorry, hand crossbow or light crossbow?
Hand.
Oh, okay, it's a D6, the square one.
Oh, okay.
It's not the diamond.
So I was right.
My bad.
5.
Fabulous.
Uh,
All the same, the bolt.
Plus 1.
6.
Okay. The bullet strikes through his eye hole. A lot of headshots today, I guess. As the tunneling occurs and the bullet flies out the other side of his soft little head, he wavers backwards. Maybe it's a he, you're not really sure. It, anyway, wavers backwards and a moment later collapses down into the dirt road of the village. As his body goes inert and blood seeps from it, the camera pans over towards you to show attention gathered once again upon you as this one looks back and sees these guys closing in actually as they get up towards here. This guy looks over towards you and gives you the thumbs up, and then they start opening fire on the other side at the kobolds. From there,
Oh, you're done. For now.
you guys watch as the guards slowly begin to end the kobolds in front of them as a few more trickle in from yonder. And you can see in the distance, one of the wyverns is taking off, flying away, as the camera sweeps over towards here to show you guys facing off against the one guy here. He, taking stock of his options, runs like a bitch. And that's actually my turn on that front. Otherwise,
He's taking a double move.
that guy, yeah, totally, he's running the fuck away.
How fast is he?
Not as fast as you. I'm just gonna say that. Meanwhile, this guy walks forward. He is as I said, the Orcan soldier from earlier, the fellow who works for the Kropis family. As he comes forward and looks down upon you, he holds out a hand. Good work, he says to everyone, as he lowers down a hand to help you up. He lifts you up with great ease, as you might imagine, his massive Orcan muscles flexing under the leathery gray skin. And as the wyvern sits silent and the camera pans back on the scene with the last of the kobolds here being slaughtered and put down, you watch as in the churchyard the few kobolds that were there are being ended. And the soldiers are coming out amidst everything, looking upon you. And they're just blood-stained, sighting upon the scene, looking towards you as you're looking at them. And you can hear a quelling, and in the distance you can all hear the wyvern and see it flying away, repelled in the moment.
Well, I'm going to chase after him. I'm going to try and find wherever my dagger wound up.
Okay.
As I
You
full
take off like a shot, grabbing hold of your dagger, and ending up in the alleyway a moment after that. You guys watch as he scampers off as a rooster tail in the dirt as he heads towards it, the moonlight almost tracking him, his shadow growing longer and then disappearing
If I
against
can
the
see
dark.
where the guy is,
You don't have night vision, so you get to the alleyway and you're just like, there's gotta be in there somewhere. You can hear him as he's scampering off though.
Yeah.
As you're situated there, something wells in you. You feel like you're on the hunt, and you can hear him scampering off in the trash and
The
refuse
sun
of the alley.
rises.
Actually, it's very much sad at the moment. But anyway, yeah, so as you're facing down there, you mutter this to yourself, and the camera pans against your compatriots. What are you guys doing? You guys over here, you're watching as the guards are finishing putting down the rest of these guys.
To be clear, I was turning my armor light on.
I'm heading down the alleyway as well.
Alright. You guys situate yourselves.
I guess I don't need to go to the church.
So you're turning it off, you're turning it off.
On.
On.
I'm trying to find the guy.
Right, yeah. So this is
Presumably you were
No, it's just a body.
okay, so there's
Well, there's a glowy sword there. As you approach around the fallen corpse of the wyvern.
Yeah.
What do I do with my...
It's the first
Dragging
scene.
Oh,
bits everywhere.
Sorry, so
You should-
you guys over there, making your way towards, I'm assuming you're following
I'm
up
gonna
them.
search the body actually.
Okay, sounds good. The knight in front,
Yeah.
he's got a black short sword,
Black short sword.
and he's got a pair of pauldrons and a helmet. He looks like he was a young fellow, and Let's see, he's got a medallion around his neck that looks like it's in the shape of a dragon's tooth, a large rust tooth.
Alright. Then I'll take that too.
Yeah, sounds good. With that said, this is the first of these guys that you guys have encountered, yeah? That you guys have, these dragon knight dudes.
Yeah.
No, weren't they the same ones from last time?
Oh,
We were running
You
with
used the same mini
with the horse.
No, I know, but this is the first one you've killed.
In
Oh.
this encounter, yes.
Yes, okay. Otherwise it was the one that crashed before.
Well, yeah, there was the one that I jumped at, and I'm pretty sure we crushed the two that when we jumped the wagon, right?
Yeah, but you guys have, this is the first one you killed and looted and...
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure of the precedent I'm setting. With that said, though, you loot him up, you head towards the alleyway. The Centera joins you a moment later. As you illuminate your armor and the surroundings as a result, the both of you stand there, and it shows from a long, drawn tunnel of darkness, the two of you in a splash of light at the far end. And it shows a silhouette of something move past the camera as it rushes away through the darkness, out of frame. And it shows you guys in behind. And you give chase.
I will give chase through the alleyway.
The both of you dart down the alleyway as you continue to pick up bits of armor. And the orc stands nearby and speaks of honor and what a good day it has been for the village. Meanwhile, the camera pans over to show you guys as
this weren't tied up.
the guardsmen come towards you, and one after the next, thank you for your assistance. And they look out towards the surroundings, and they start passing out orders to one another to go to here and there and see what's going on wherever. And they say towards you, can you head towards the church? I don't have enough men to check in on them over there, and have not heard back from them.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will do that.
So he sends you off towards. As you guys are situated up the road here, you can head leftwards and literally cross over towards it. Meanwhile, it shows you guys rushing down the alleyway. You easily take over the kobold fellow, who doesn't even try to attack you, just tries to outrun you and fails miserably. But before long, he breaks from line of sight around the corner, and as you come around the corner, you see him squaring off. You're going to try to grab him, try to what?
Stabby, stabby.
Alright,
Well,
so-
dagger initially when I get within range for that, and then if it's...
Okay, we'll go ahead and roll it.
Like,
That's fine.
however you want to...
So you're closing the distance easily enough. Like, he's scampering away best he can to run away from you, and
Yeah,
you can
but
run.
I'm a good deal faster.
Yeah, quite literally.
Okay, well, so
So
presumably
two times
I'll
faster.
get, at some point I'll get an attack with a dagger, and
Do so.
then... Nat 19.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be 8 damage from the dagger.
That'll pretty much do it then. So, as you come closing in and thrust the blade into him without issue, you close the distance and you're just throwing it at him?
Yeah, that's the initial thrown dagger.
Okay, that's fine. The dagger disappears from your grasp as it whirls through the air. You coming around the corner, a moment later the dagger leaves you. Camera tracks against the dagger through the air along the alleyway as the little shaman kobold fellow rushes away, his frantic face, his massive beak, and his red tattoos on his forehead glowing, furiously sweating, trying to run away to have his life end a moment later. As the dagger embeds itself in his back, he topples into a stack of crates and barrels and splays out against them, dead.
Well, I continue on to him and actively look around to see if there's what else is around me at this point, and then I will proceed to see what he had on him, loot him, essentially.
You can close the distance a moment later. You guys are just in the alleys here, literally just to the left where it opens up. And upon him, he's got a pair of bags, one full of marbles and the other with a bunch of metal shards, like the ones he had thrown a second ago. And other than that, he's got his drab robes, and you know what? He's got a gold ring on his toe.
What?
Seems an appropriate place. There's either that or another extremity. I wasn't going there.
I'll take the ring. Yeah.
So, yeah.
At first, you're a little disappointed to find some green on it. And you're like, oh. And then you realize, oh, it's just fungus. It's fine.
Oh,
It's good.
So, go.
But that's it.
So glittering marbles, and what was the other thing?
Shards.
Shards. What do you think of these?
Shards?
Yeah.
Did you take the marbles?
Yeah.
Here's those shards.
No, like I could just see him throwing them on the ground so people can just trip and die.
I've got actually a couple very specific ideas for those marbles. Yes, there will be things.
Little glass bullets that explode.
Camera sweeps around a lot of you as it shows in the distance. You guys coming into view of the alleyway where you guys are situated. You guys can see them through an alleyway where several of the buildings juncture at the backs, which is where you guys are, just between the buildings, ending this poor little fucker's life. With that said, though, you guys can sight upon this, and of course the road continues over to the left, and then would meander to the right to reach the church yonder. So, as you guys are making there, you can see them, or you can continue on. Just do you want to try? Is just join up with them, or do you want to head off towards the church area?
Well, I'm supposed to go towards the church area, and you said it's like right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You feel like even the alleyway might be a shortcut. You're not sure.
Has anyone done anything to this with dead corpse of a wyvern here?
I don't think you even know about the dead wyvern corpse.
Well, I'm probably going to come across it when I come around the corner.
If you go that way, yes, you will. So you do so.
Okay.
And as a result, come upon yonder wyvern corpse.
Right there, I guess.
Are you excited about it? Or are you like, woo?
Yes, actually I am. Is there anything to loot on that corpse?
On the wyvern?
Yeah, like part of its corpse?
It was actually, it just picked up a new couch from IKEA. It had its coffee maker with it for whatever reason. It's also got a hockey duffel bag full of Rolling Stones albums.
Yes.
Did you take all that? You're going to have to add homebrew for all this, really. But the couch is a 3-seater.
I don't need the couch.
You should it's a recliner.
I don't think
So it's
very
very
I will look in the recliner for some change.
You find another couch and then change in that couch. That has couch in the change. So anyway, the wyvern does not actually have any strappings upon it. It's not carrying any cargo. The guy doesn't. You know what? Odds or evens? Give me odds or evens. Odds or evens. Give me odds or evens.
Evens.
Odds. Okay, no. It doesn't seem to have any cargo strapped to it. To your surprise.
But my question was like anything that I could loot on its corpse or part of its corpse.
Well, that's up to you.
Plus scales.
Well, that's up to you. What would you like? What would you like off it? It does have scales. It does have scaly skin.
Okay.
It does have very robust teeth. Lots of them.
I want some teeth.
Alright, sounds good. Throw me nature and strength.
Nature to pry them out, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
strength to get it done.
Okay, so
Or maybe just strength. Just throw me strength. It's fine.
medicine.
I want to say
Do
medicine.
some dental work.
I kind of do. The question is if you have like tinker's tools and shit like that, and players get creative, like, oh, I have this over here, that, or like crowbar, for
I have a
dragging
crowbar.
it over. Well, you can pitch in and
Crowbar,
help.
some teeth.
You can give some advantage on that roll.
So what?
What? Sorry? What are you doing?
Crowbar?
Crowbar, some teeth.
Well, I don't have a crowbar, but I have a
crowbar.
pickaxe.
Okay.
I have a pickaxe. I remember picking
This is
that up.
starting to seem like you guys have a full dental office.
Yeah.
You guys could
It's gonna take a while.
find a new career in D&D world here.
Okay. So
Open
which
an
dice
office,
is that
dragon come in from all
for
over.
picking the teeth?
What are you guys doing there? We make rolls to see if we piss off dragons. Anyway.
Which
Dragon corpses.
No, sir, you don't have insurance. What?
Which dice do I roll?
Sorry, what are you doing again?
I want the teeth.
Oh, right.
With a
It's gonna be
pickaxe,
the
to be
thing.
clear.
Okay.
With a pickaxe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5.
Do it dead.
How else do you do it? I mean, really.
It's a 5.
Come on, girl. This is a weaver, and how? I mean, don't break the realism. So you take a mighty swing with the pickaxe into this guy's mouth, and you're just like, woo! Hey, no, hang on.
What the crap out of
Okay,
it.
jaw open, and throw me again.
Where's 4?
Alright.
That's like she smokes an eye or
I was
something.
gonna say, yeah. You guys watch as a juicy light goes right into the eyeball, right through the eyelid. It's just this massive puncture, spit, juice everywhere.
We do it.
You gotta throw strength to pull the pickaxe out at this point.
I do?
Yes, it's quite in there.
Assist.
Okay,
Yay,
Do I roll
18!
or just give her a bunch?
she's got it. You pull it out. Most of the eyeball comes out with it. It just kind of oozes out.
The dragon's eye.
It deflates. It's grotesque.
Dragonitis.
Well, since taking the teeth failed, can I put some of the eye goo in one of my potion bottles?
You thoroughly can.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
You do so.
Or the
The teeth aren't actually all that damaged, so I think I'll take a stab at it. Not stabbing, but extracting them using a
Crowbar or pickaxe?
Crowbar.
Crowbar? Throw me a strength check, sir.
That's 16.
Terrific. You take out your crowbar, and a moment later, take out one of the teeth. It's a rather large fang-like unit. Here you are, sir.
Okay.
There it is. Terrific. Very nice looking tooth that you have there, sir. That came out of a weaver, you say.
Yeah.
With that, how many did you want? Just the one?
Well, so there's the big ones, and I want some small ones too.
You want a bunch of small ones? Okay.
Yeah.
You go to work. I don't need to make the additional ones. You figure out the technique, and one after the next, just tink. One after the next, you pull out.
So, give me like a number, how many teeth I have.
You give me a number. He's got like 30 odd teeth in the top row alone.
I want a teeth necklace. So,
Okay.
Still, what's the number? 3?
How many teeth? Okay, I'm just gonna take out all the teeth.
30 on the top row.
Oh.
They have 30 per row.
Alright, we got 60 teeth, and then it's gonna take a while.
Well, definitely 2 canines.
And then he's got like 4 molars, or 4
I'd like
fang molars, or whatever the hell they're
Are
called.
they actually make like a dagger out of?
Like a small one. You know what you can make? You can make funky kitchen implementer, but it's not. It's like you can kill somebody with a stick knife, but it's not like an efficient. But yeah, exactly. It could really hurt. You could really cause some damage, and to be honest, you're pretty sure it could cut meat pretty well.
Okay, for the purpose of inventory, how much does 60 dragon teeth weigh?
To your surprise, it's not too bad. It's about 10 pounds in teeth, though.
Okay.
10 pounds of teeth.
They're pretty good size.
Alright.
That's a tooth for you. That's probably the weight of it too, actually. You know, like seriously. Think about
Yeah.
maybe even heavier.
Can I roll a check to see about the sword I had picked up?
Yeah, by all means.
What would that be?
One bottle of liver and IG.
Depends what you're trying to discern. As you're holding this aloft, the thing kind of like got a sort of. He's holding. You guys watch as Toma's weaving around this black short sword too, by the way, and it's got a rippling black flame coming off the edge of it, and it shimmers ever so perfectly at the crisp, sharpened line of the edge as you whip it around. Now, it doesn't have any major markings on it. What it does have is an ornate sort of hilt design. So the blade itself, pretty straightforward. And the crossbar.
And you said, yeah, it was a short sword, right?
Yeah. Something like this. Hello. But it's got this sort of writhing coil that makes its way, that's terribly designed, but that makes its way around the hilt. And then it's got a pair of wings that rest against the blade. It's got no head. It's just got
kind of like a filigree, like a rapier, except for the blade.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole of the blade, I just want to say again, like the blade itself is totally plain,
Yeah.
but it's got a set of like, you might say serpents wrapping around it. They got serpent scales to them and whatnot etched into the filigree of the things. And then it's got the wings that come off of those at the back where it joins. So it joins here at the back and the wings come off of that. Yeah, so super fancy looking. Definitely dragon wings as you look upon them. You're not sure what dragon.
Alright. I'll roll for, I guess, the
Religion?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I guess religion.
arcanic? Or like you gotta. Okay, fair enough. Do you want to tell what kind of magic it is?
Yeah, what kind
or
of
what
magic.
god it belongs to? Or how much damage you're gonna do with this thing?
Damage.
Yeah,
Let's
if
do
you
it.
want
let's do
Arcana,
investigation.
you can wait till the end of the
Investigation.
center there.
10.
You go up to a nearby building, take out a brick. Without an issue, it leaves a little behind it. It's going to be a D6 plus a D6.
Alright.
Plus your dex or strength, whichever, because it's finesse.
Damn. That's a nice sword.
That's beastly at level 2, 3.
Yeah.
What am I doing? How much vodka is in that?
Was that a vodka freezy?
No. I threw the freezy and some juice and then poured some vodka over it.
Oh, I missed the vodka.
Yeah. Secret to being a good alcoholic. Suck it in. Nobody sees, nobody judges.
Yeah. I guess it's just, the extra D6 makes it just a brutal weapon.
Yeah, it's a
regardless
potential
of the base.
D12, right?
Yeah. So it's a brutal
It's a
weapon.
potential 12.
Yeah.
D12.
So even though he'd typically be using a longsword, it'll like just the brutality of that weapon, regardless of the base.
No, it's true, because it's a finesse weapon.
Yeah.
Like 12 damage. Anyway, so that aside, as you pick this up and whip it around and then smash through the building, a lot of you guys kind of just can see this happen. Bricks spray off the building in a spray of black flame and stone. And he retracts back. You get the sheath that goes with it. The sheath is also plain black leather.
Yeah.
That as you sheath the blade into it, you realize is made up of several different races. And it's been blackened. It's been made up of several bodies and sewn together and blackened.
I like it.
Alright. With that said, so do you gear this on? Do you like strap it to your belt and carry it? Okay, fair enough. As you do this, a lot of you guys watch them, and you guys are coming upon the church at this point, where you see from the field, Father Luminous has actually come out and is starting to welcome people in. You can already see that there's a bunch of people that have taken shelter inside the church, and a bunch of guards who are getting tended to by a few of his very few acolytes. Actually, he only has 2 people that work for him, but they're tending as fast as they can to the few wounded, that are coming through the place, and there's more pouring in. That said, the camera pans against the scene as you guys enter in upon and sight about, and you can see the various soldiers milling about, as well as the ones who are wounded and being tended to. And so, what do? Okay, you set to work almost immediately, I'm assuming, and start trying to mend the wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have medicine as a skill? Did you take that? That's fine. And what is Lady O'Shea doing?
I could also help out with tending to some wounds.
Okay. As you enter in upon, Father Luminous looks towards you and says, "Ah, yes. Well, the assistance is always appreciated." And with that,
Did you continue on to the church, or did you go back to
Bless you.
Jasper?
Haven't decided either way yet.
Okay, I was gonna head back to Jasper.
Yeah.
So
I
if
think
you
we
want me to
should-
look at that sword, I certainly could.
Yeah. If you wouldn't mind as well.
Okay. So, any additional information that can be gleaned from Arcana, I suppose, with an @1.
very nice. Plus your bonus, because they don't count for shit on skill checks.
Still should, but
It is shit, but
7.
with a 7 total. You don't know as much as you thought as you Sorry, what are we rolling for again?
Just to determine anything about the blade.
Disseminate what?
Any arcanic information about the blade.
Okay, yeah. So, scanning point, you can. It's dark. That's what you can tell about it.
Gotcha.
Yep. Black flame. It's dark magic for sure. See how it's black? Dark.
Creepy stuff.
Yep.
Go nuts.
Black.
Creepy stuff. Here, give it to
Go
the
nuts, or
paladin.
it might make you go nuts. One or the other. We'll
Evil
find out soon.
paladin.
See on the
Yeah,
ground.
that's true.
You keep getting the weird enchanted weapons.
Hey,
you
I
got the
had the
enchanted
one
dagger.
that
Oh yeah, the
States
one that's
stuff.
up to you.
which still has 2 charges left.
I forgot about that.
That is true. The drow blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drow blade of spider inflection. And then this thing, right? Winged sword of darkness.
Yep.
It is. With that said, though.
Some point I need to figure out what the hell that thing is.
Oh, Jesus, mother of mercy.
What?
The fly just tried to fly into my ear canal.
Roll Arcana.
Oh my god, it's nesting in my brain.
14.
14 to what?
Arcana to know if I know what it is.
Very good, actually. As you feel upon it, it is a powerful evocation magic, to be certain. Some sort of force damage, perhaps. No. Necrotic? You try to feel through? No, fortunately, it's not necrotic. It's not on death that you have in your hand. You would
Hurts
know.
like hell.
It does. Trying to think of all the different types of evocation. Damage types here. All the different types. Wait a sec. I want to say there's one more. Damage types. Give me a sec. Blah 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 blah. If it's not force, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be a force magic. Yeah. So it's force damage that is coming out of the blade as it is swung.
It's a Jedi sword.
Yes.
Alright.
It is not necrotic. It is not a power of undeath, but it's certainly not radiant either.
Alright.
I should always make it fire, but it just doesn't feel right. Anyway, so that's your type of magic, your influence of magic, and etc. All except the religion, you have no idea. But you know it can't be good. Who's your deity?
What's that?
Who's your deity?
Bahamut.
Part of the platinum cadre, you would be considered. And wielding a weapon like this might be dishonorable.
I'm an Oathbreaker, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I keep forgetting that little
Really?
tidbit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an important tidbit. That's fair enough. He wears the symbol of Bahamut as a
I spit in their face.
Getting back on track here, sorry. You're heading back towards Jasper. Descentera, after all the action is settled and done, he's walking off. He's like, I'm going back to Jasper. You're doing what?
Yeah, heading back to Jasper, I think.
You accompany along.
Yeah.
You're like, that sounds good. And you guys over at the treasure hunt out there?
Yeah.
Sounds good, that sounds good. Meanwhile?
Back Jasper.
Right. The three of you make your way back as you guys continue to help the wounded. Closing the distance on the compound, you see the soldiers have tightened the place up. They've cleared a lot of the bric-a-brac and moved the furniture back into position. You guys come up on the door and are greeted by Jameson, who comes out with a load of trash. And he regards you as he takes it over towards where they have a bit of a dumpster, actually. And from there,
I think we'll have that tea now.
he shouts back, "It's still in the kitchen!" He makes his way out towards the dumpster that goes stand. He actually comes in through the back door. If you're serious about the tea and headed to the kitchen,
Yeah.
he comes in through the back door to meet you, points towards it and says, "I can make you fresh water. I have a bit boiling."
Yeah, please do. I'll just check on Jasper upstairs.
Right. And he shouts after, "Would the miss like her chamomile too?"
Yeah, yes, I would.
Terrific. There was nothing for Toma, but he's going to follow in as the lot of you make your way upstairs. You see the guards are milling in from the balcony area, having also adjusted the furniture in the area. You guys see the boy still strapped to the bed. You can see that the wings have robusted quite a bit and are now resting at the sides of the bed. You can see that his face has contorted some. You can see that no longer is he a young boy. In fact, now his face, his skin having darkened somewhat, his face has strange outcroppings, bits of scaly substance, flesh and skin fall away in folds that you would find adorning the side of whatever worm folk he is made to resemble. And you can look upon the staff if you like, but your memory kicks in instantly, your insight saying he looks like the staff.
Becoming a dragon.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's pretty dang cool.
Now, the other thing
Until it
that
eats your face.
surprises you...
Before I forget, I'm going to grab my rope from outside
Okay.
that was attached to the railing.
That's fair. Okay. You collect your rope as well. You actually find it folded to the side. It's got a little name tag, and you pick it,
Wow.
you double click it, it goes back in your inventory.
They did a lot of cleanup very quickly.
Very quickly. It's almost like it's instantaneous around here. But that said, you guys. Where was I? Sorry. You guys see that he's contorted somewhat and would really shoot brain fart. What really surprises you amidst all this is that he's still strapped down. As you notice that he's actually lifted off of the bed from where his wings have rusted under him. And it strikes you, those restraints shouldn't have... And you look under the bed and you can see that where the metal of the frame was what you were using has bent out. And there's just like the mattress is now thrust in underneath him where the frame has bent out.
Lovely. I think we're going to need some help on this one.
Is he still asleep?
He is. Although he is writhing occasionally. And I want to say, like, as you guys are... He's just...
Do we have anything we can give him to like keep him?
sedate him?
Yeah,
Do we have a
knocked out,
muzzle?
and then let's drag him outside so
Well,
when he gets
why don't you throw
Grab
me
a-
a mechanic or a nature, your call.
Is there a muzzle nearby?
The dogs might have some out back.
I'm thinking about grabbing a wagon and take the entire bed with him.
There's a wagon right there.
That could work.
15?
15? You think to yourself, you've got a couple things in your pouch. You could probably whip something together that would docile the savageness. Cause docile the savageness.
I'm gonna
within
go
them.
get that wagon and bring it to the base of the house.
Okay.
I throw a bunch of stuff together and I whip up the potion and
So throw me a nature or medicine check at this point. And meanwhile, you're going to go in
So
your
I'm
cart.
gonna, and I'm gonna ask the servants. Do we need a horse?
17.
Very nice, actually. You head down to the kitchen with some of that water that he's got boiled. You blend this all together as you grab the cart. The Jameson says, yeah, it's right over there. We've just had it emptied, as a matter of fact. Bringing that all together, you put together a steaming cup of this. It's going to need a moment to cool. You watch as he gets things together as Toma is what?
I'm gonna see if reversing the lettering on the staff reverses his condition.
Fair, fair. You flip the tiles around a little ways, and your insight kicks, and you're like, "Wait, no, that's not gonna work. All right, it's not how that works." Meanwhile, the camera pans against you guys as you continue doing what you're doing at the place. I need both of you to roll medicine.
Okay. So open up your thing there.
Maybe untrained.
Not very trained at all. No.
That's fine.
So skills.
You
Medicine
could
0.
You could inspire the healers.
This
Raise
is
the
true.
spirits.
This is very true. You don't have to just do medicine after all.
Doesn't have to
Okay.
be literal. Raising of
If
the
you've got
spirits.
skills that you feel would fit other than medicine, by all means, feel free to apply them. This is where you get to experiment with what you have. You get a room full of sick and hurt and whatnot, wounded from a battle.
Play some victory music.
Make him
Yeah.
feel better.
Yeah,
Give him
all
a
sorts of
teddy
stuff.
bear.
Whatever, right? Anything that works.
I guess.
I've got, oh crap, do I still have it in this playlist actually? I wonder.
For some reason, it reminded me of Ace Ventura.
Oh, in the second one?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Even.
So
So
you
if you're
have
gonna do
plus
this-
2 medicine.
So good.
If Lady O'Shea wants to do the performance thing, just throw a d20 for performance.
5 plus.
It's probably going to be a +5. Stupid.
Yep. So
Okay.
10.
So 10. It's a decent enough performance. Nobody's asking you to shut up, but everyone's still hurt.
Kind of
You
looking
know,
at you like,
you're doing a pretty good job of, you're doing a fine job of playing, and it's good material, you know it is, but as you look around, it's hard to keep it upbeat. It really is in the face of this. These people didn't deserve this.
No.
It's sad.
Okay, so I do have a +2 in medicine.
Terrific stuff.
So what do I do?
So you throw that d20, and you do a great job of helping out these poor villagers.
Hopefully.
4.
That is a
6.
great job of helping out. Anyway, so is it total 4 though? Okay, so that's a 10. Doing a great job, is hard with so many people coming after you, and before long you feel like an exasperated nurse working her 19th hour in a row as you're running to and fro, taking medical supplies here and there. But one after the next, you finish splinting this individual and bandaging that individual and getting a pat on the back or nearly getting puked on by this person, blood spattered from over there. It's a long several hours that you spend toiling here as she's attempting to inspire people here and there, and occasionally you guys look over at each other with a weak smile, looking amidst the fray of all these people dying, mewling, whatnot, and eventually the sun's rising over top the place as Father Luminous comes towards you and says, "Really, child, you should slow. Have some water. Come, we have coffees. We freshly brewed beans." And you're led away to where some of the monks and one of the acolytes has brewed together some coffees as they stand it, but also a bit of stew and whatnot from the night before is being heated up, and they offer you a bowl of that. Camera swings back over to you guys.
Where did that work guy head up after the battle?
Right, so getting there. Thank you. Swinging back to you guys shows the Yorick fellow showing up at the Rutger household, where you guys are hanging out. Are you guys hanging out at the Rutger household, or do you guys eventually leave there? I'm assuming you would go back to your shop after some hour. Or I'm asking. I'm not assuming.
Well, my intention was to get
what's our
Jasper
next step?
and
Yeah.
bring him to the church.
Oh, yeah.
That was why I prepared the.
Sedative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now let's get.
Oh, I thought you just prepared the sedative at the house there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she did the
Oh, okay,
sedative.
yeah, sorry,
I got
sorry.
the wagon ready.
I just totally skipped this. Right. All right. Getting back to it. Getting the wagon prepared. You guys get the sedative into him. Just and funnel into his mouth and pouring it down his gullet.
Suppository, sorry.
Flip him over. I've got a sound for this.
Perfect.
Anyway.
God.
So.
Just split it
Force.
one in half.
Alright, so. As we were, you guys are carting the poor lad out. He's leaking as you're doing this, but you're pretty sure that's taking effect. He's no longer writhing as much. As you get him into the cart, and the cart pulls him towards the church, you guys situated at the church, finishing up your 11th hour, see them show up with Jasper. Actually, it wouldn't be that long, really. It would be like an hour in. So you get there as these guys are in the throes of everything that you're doing. But you guys arrive at the church with Jasper on the cart, docile from the medications.
Father, we need your aid.
Entering upon the church, you approach Father Luminous, who looks towards you, his face covered in little spatters of dried blood. He holds a roll of thread and looks towards you. With what, dear, my good man?
Jasper is not doing well. Something ill about
He
him.
puts down the thread. See that this man is bandaged. Show me this. Then he walks with you over towards Jasper, where Toma is standing there, and I guess Dysentery is standing aside as well. Or are you going in to help, or what are you doing?
I I can't help. No, I'm
No,
staying.
okay, no problem. Situated where you are, the lot of you watch as Father Luminous comes back, looks, and Jasper, still docile from the medications, lays there more or less inert. And the moment Father Luminous looks at one of his, by the gods, and he peers in towards the boy in the back of the cart, and at this,
This evil is far beyond my skill.
sorry, where did I leave the Orcan fellow? He had shown up.
Right.
He
Right
hadn't
about
shown-
there.
He hadn't shown up at the property. He had shown up to help you out.
Yeah.
And then you guys left. You would have left to go, you know what? He would be at the church helping you guys out. I should have addressed that. So just quick re-and-re here. This
So we've got a
fellow,
companion following us.
this guy has been at the church alongside you guys, a large orc, working around the place, porting individuals and suturing wounds with the agility of a thief. This orc moves from individual to individual, either applying magics from a holy symbol that resembles the sigil on his breastplate of leather, or pulling poultices from his either satchel and applying them to different wounds. And he just seems to have an endless supply of all sorts of implementure that he pulls from these massive bags that are like yonder deep. And he's a big orc, you know, big orc fellow, and he's got these massive saddlebags hanging off him that he just folds up and he's, I know what you need. And he pulls out this right here. And he applies something. He'll splint a guy up in a moment. He'll suture up a wound in a half beat. Doesn't take him long with each individual, and he's not only efficient, but then he'll pick them up and he'll put them over. Bedside manner is amazing as you watch him take the moment. He just caringly caresses each head. You'll be okay. And he walks away like that. You watch him move from person to person to person like this. And the lot of you can kind of take a little bit of a watch from what he's doing as he addresses all these guys, as people are starting to calm down as he works around them, oddly enough, with his massive stature, big, gray, leathery, hulking form. Anyway, with that said, so you guys arrive at this place and you see this moving around the room. And he's, as you arrive, carrying somebody and putting them down. So Father Luminous looks upon the boy and says, we should consult, perhaps, it may seem odd, but the Orcan fellow.
What's
And
his
he looks
name?
back towards
anyway?
him. Dr. Goodpath.
What a nice name. Good.
Apparently they're talking the road.
Oh, sorry, we are
very,
10 after 10,
interesting.
so we good for another moment or two? I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone has any major.
Alright,
I'm
nobody wants to
always
run away?
scheduled at 11 or 11,
Alright.
15, 30, whatever.
I can double check. You never know. With that said, though, he points over towards, waving the Orcan fellow over. As he comes forward, he observes upon the scene. He simply says, I'm not sure what to make of this. What would you like to know? He observes this a moment and looks back towards you. What can you tell me of this?
Is there a way to reverse it?
Some fish captured him, had him for a good few days, perhaps a week before we saved him. He's been,
Is he bit? Fingers?
well, his hands still.
He looks upon him. I doubt this had to do with a fish bite. Was there any other implementure involved? Magic by any
Grab
stretch?
a staff.
He looks
Holding
towards
on
it,
to it
retires
tightly.
it, and he backs away. And then he comes forward and looks towards it. I'm not mistaken in considering that he looks like the staff.
That's much we do.
And as he peers upon the boy and the magic staff, he says, this is odd. These magics come from underground and historical things. I am a draconic historian to some degree. I did bring some books,
Perhaps you may wish to read them. I would be curious what you would discover. I can make them available to you.
And he
Very helpful.
excuses himself from the situation, disappears a moment, and then comes back a second later.
My page will retrieve them for you. They will be here shortly.
You see his horse suddenly leaves the church with a boy or lad, man on the back of it. It heads off in the morning dawn that's rising as the sun slowly climbs up. No, sorry, I forgot. This is the middle of the night. My apologies. I keep forgetting that. Sorry. The moon is slowly setting at this point. As the moon slowly sets, the horse takes off, galloping away into the darkness. Darkness still. As this occurs, and you guys regard the Orcan fellow, and Father Luminous looks upon you, he asks simply,
How are you all? Are you all well? Can we offer anything?
I'm still a bit injured from the fights.
Please, this way. Might we direct you towards this acolyte here? Well, I'm sorry.
and you're introduced back to Lux.
As I still have a gaping wound.
An individual comes towards you with Father Luminous, and he directs you towards her, an elven lady, and says,
She has proven quite capable. Please see to his wounds.
and he excuses himself away. With that said, you get the full treatment of the church. You get healed up as you set to work on yet another patient that comes through the place. With that said, anybody else?
Yeah, I need healing.
Okay. Jameson rides in on a horse, climbs off, and walks over with a tray of tea and says, "Your chamomile."
Finally
Thank
got that
you,
And
tea.
Jameson.
your black.
Next time.
Oh, I thought I took the cup with me.
Oh, did you take? Fair enough. He shows up in horse.
Papa.
Terrific. With that said, he leaves a moment later. Says, "I'll be back with scones." Shows you guys continuing to do the work. Shows you alongside the boy there, and
How long will your page be?
he shouldn't be. There he is. As the camera montages you guys doing the healing thing, you guys are waiting around the boy, and it crossfades to show the page show up a moment later, and he presents you guys the books. As he says, sorry, I totally gapped on.
Presumably these are not the most typical looking of books.
Sorry, they had titles and everything here.
Oh, did you base this off of something? I thought this all started as a custom.
It is. No, I've written everything down.
Oh, you made notes, okay.
Yeah. I made lots and lots.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, yeah, dude, this thing just grows. Remember here, sorry. Right, I missed that. Okay, so as the page shows up, he shows up with a satchel, and he shows up with a satchel that looks like a doctor's kit, like a triangular sort of luggage, if you will. Page presents it. It's a robust-looking thing, about half the size of a full-fledged hockey duffel bag.
This is going to take a while.
So that's a Canadian form of measurement, a hockey. Anyway, so he brings in this bag, and it's got a clasp on the top and whatnot. So the fellow brings it over, and he puts it down, and he unclasps the top, and he opens it up with a ring, and he reaches in with his large organ arms, reaches in, pulls out a bookshelf, and puts it to the side, and closes the bag, and says,
Yes. So, I think this is the one you'll want.
and he pulls a large tome off it and puts it down, and immediately you can see, like you said, it's not going to be your average book. Black leather cover with a gold frame over the cover that actually sits about a half a centimeter off, but holding on. It's in the shape of two dragons going in somewhat of a yin-yang, but the opposite direction. And he says,
Please be careful with the pages. It's an old volume.
Clearly.
This staff, I think I have seen it.
And he opens it up. And sure enough, I mean, they're dry fucking pages. The moment he opens it, one of the pages just somewhat wafts away and he's like, whoop, I need that. He puts that back in there. Thank you. And he slides it in, folding carefully like my player's handbook. He opens the pages along until he gets to the area he's looking at, and he says,
Somewhere in here.
and sure enough, you can see that it's got the name Morganth written in common alongside Elven and Draconic. And it's at this point, after he's finished flipping through, you can see the format of the book. It is a full history of several different dragons for several different regions in several different languages. And in this case, as he flips over to Morganth, you can see another name that strikes your attention, Stormhorns. And he says, historically, and he points out, and you're already scanning across the page, you can see that it was a dragon that resided in this area, resided so many years ago. It was a slaver, slaving races for labors thousands of years ago, and died in a battle of the Stormhorns. Died to giants. It's all there, all well detailed. No mention of the staff. There's a full history of Morganth right there. Something that happened in the Stormhorns. There's a mountain range just yonder. So, sorry?
Can we roll to see if there's anything about like the dragon changing in the books?
Yeah, you know what? Throw me investigation. Go ahead.
90?
Terrific. Actually, what happens is you look over the book and you're just kind of like... You look over towards the bookshelf and your eyes scan from one spine to the next. And you guys watch as Distantera makes her way over towards the shelf. And you grab another tome off there. It's a smaller one. And it's on a lower shelf, actually. It's a smaller one that says Transmutations and Other Arcanics. Transmutations and Arcanics. And so grabbing hold of that, you bring it over and you set it down. It's just caught your attention. Flipping through it for a brief second, you're not sure why you're doing this. Just felt like this should be something that... And after a brief second of looking through, you find it. It's a simple dark spell for soul bindings. And you're thinking something like this. And you think to yourself, what do you know about this? And throw me Arcanic.
That's what I get as well.
If she chooses to share it with you.
24.
Okay. You ask for the staff. Okay? You think about the staff, and you think about the transmutation magic thereby, and you think about the boy, like what's going on here. Looking at the spell sitting on the pages here, you put two and two together, figuring out the recipe that's at work here. So what does this get you? You make a correlation between the sigils and the magic, and as you're looking upon the recipe that's documented here on this guy's pages, you can start to make scrawlings out on a piece of paper, and you start to make notations about how it works. You start to figure out how and you guys are watching this all happen as he's adding this up in a kind of like brief moment of genius. As you grab the staff and you review all the tiles and you look at this recipe on this guy's pages, and you start to scroll out your own little recipe, you think you've figured out a way to reverse the thing based on the tiles and everything. You think. You're not quite sure, but you'd have to put it into action. Anyway, at this point, what you do know is that you can try to help out the boy with a quick concoction based on all this. But where does this get you in terms of what the staff does? Nowhere. All you know at this point is that the staff has something to do with Morganth and has a soul-binding transmutation magic. So, sorry, backtrack this. I just fucking babbled. Holy crap. Sorry.
So the soul binding is what's empowering the staff.
So, thank you.
Someone is controlling.
So, what you discern at this point, to get back to that, sorry. It would go like that, though. Like, if you were suddenly having this moment of genius, I want to say. This is the sort of battling that you're doing in your mind, or maybe as you're scrabbling this down. But as you come up with a little bit of a recipe for reversing it, you suddenly realize to yourself that the staff has a soul bound to it and is trying to transfer to the boy. And you think to yourself, why is that? Why is that happening? And is this what I'm looking at? Is this what I'm understanding? And you keep looking at the tiles and you look at your recipe and you're like, yeah, if I'm reversing this and I can reverse this, I can reverse this. You think that like you have ingredients going through your mind, you have ideas on how you can do it, and you think to yourself, gosh, if only I had that druid here to bounce ideas off of. But anyway, so the point is, you come to the conclusion the staff has a soul in it.
We should. Ooh. I don't know if we'll break it. It's so bad. It's so.
Arcana, history, relevant stuff. So yeah, I will attempt to glean anything else I can in terms of validating research or
Okay.
examining the staff more closely myself.
As you're looking over the staff some further, looking at the sigils that
Especially
she's
the sigils that have changed.
looking, yeah, for sure. Looking towards the notes that she's made upon the various sigils and seeing the recipe that she's written down so far, you can see that it's actually going to spell out a little bit of a different sentence, saying, "I seal thee away, Morganth."
Okay, this isn't Morganth's stuff. This is somebody. So I guess knowledge, history, or religion to have some idea who would be opposed to Morganth in a fundamental way.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Go religion, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Seeking back through history as you think to yourself
17.
about this, and flipping through the book for a moment, you see that Morganth was, shit, hang on, now it's, I had a couple ideas of who she was going to follow. Okay, yeah. Flipping through, you can see that Morganth was one of Shar's soldiers, Shar's followers and soldiers, battling against the forces of Mistra.
Everyone's like cats.
But obviously lost a battle of some sort historically, and it comes back to the Stormhorns once again.
Okay.
So Morganth lost a battle in the Stormhorns, and what happened after that, it's not documented, but now you've got a staff that says, "I summon thee," or "I seal thee."
Okay.
And you've also got a boy who is resonating with and robusting the form of. And so what you've discerned, of course, again, staff has a soul in it. You guys have seen what's going on with the boy, and you can see how he reacts to the staff. You see what's robusting out of him at this point, and you've discerned a possible way of reversing it by some brief research and some freaky deaky books this guy has.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to reverse it. Give him the potions that I'm making to try to reverse it.
Might be an idea. You're not quite sure if you have all the ingredients. Moreover, looking over some of the... actually, you're not quite sure that you have all the ingredients.
Can I do more research to...
No, specifically, you don't have any troll fat. Of all the things in the list, alongside that, you have Weaver blood, obviously enough. Weaver blood and probably other things if anything you'd be needing. So you have that covered. There's just one problem
Roll fat.
of all things. It's used for rending. It's the only thing that burns hot enough.
Okay.
Didn't the priest say he was
So I
supposed to
guess
share
we're
their troll fat in?
Yeah, should talk to the priest. If not, we're hunting troll.
Well,
Want to talk to the priest, or
but yeah, let's go talk to the priest. Yeah.
Okay. Simple as that, yeah? Alright. And in doing so, the priest's gonna say, "Yeah, I can hook a brother up. Or at least I could try." And so the priest says to you, Father Luminous, of course,
So there's Trofat, yes. I suppose they may be able to acquire this at some cost. At the same time, I say perhaps it'd be if you need it right away, it would be most expedient to go and get it. And we could provide a source.
Quite dangerous.
Okay.
But
Trolls, in this case, yes, they would be quite dangerous.
And where do we find them?
There's a valley some distance away, a bit of a recess in the ground, a pit of sorts. They reside there in caves. There's not many of them, at least not close by to one another. Are you sure you wish to try this?
where else could we get the fat? I think the boy's father would pay whatever is necessary.
It is true. However, we would simply pay whatever sellswords would dare brave the valleys. If you are willing to do this, you would be paid handsomely for it. But it would not be by the Rutgers. It would be by the Cropus family.
Why so?
Lord Hiram is the one who owns the lofts within which those Rutgers roam. And he would be paying the bounty on them.
Sounds like a good place to go.
Sounds like a horrible place to go, but
We need it.
Yeah.
We gotta cure him.
Should we take the boy with us?
it seems exceptionally dangerous. I would think that there's more that can be done than chaining him to a bed, though.
Just keep him sedated.
Yeah.
We can just keep him at the church sedated.
Gotta
Perhaps.
keep him sedated.
Perhaps I'm
Right? I couldn't not.
Perhaps
I'm
another cell
sorry.
of
I'm
some
sorry.
kind.
Farm.
Forgive me.
Stick him in a cage.
Is there a straight jacket? Are there straight jackets in D&D?
I guess someone could put one up.
You could. You know, all the straitjacket is you take two ropes, bind them around the wrists, and that's it.
Yeah. With him changing
Like
size
he's a dragon,
constantly,
that's not gonna really do anything.
Oh, you're gonna bind
Will
these
you
wings
make it out of
together.
mithril?
Alright, with that said, the camera pans against you guys as you guys are like, yeah, we gotta do this. And the camera pans out of the church and away from your stern, stoic faces looking at one another as the sun begins to rise on place and the credits begin to roll. It crossfades afterwards and it shows a bunch of nurses leading out and it shows you out the back having a cigarette afterwards covered in blood. And then it shows at the bottom, thank you medical professionals and nurses of our world, we know you work hard.
Yeah.
When we're having Christmas, you guys are saving our asses because we fell down the stairs and bashed our skulls open in some stupid fashion. Yeah, Halloween rolls around, we're all having a good time and they're saving our asses. You know what I mean? Or you're puking, you cut yourself on the toilet bowl or something. I don't know. Anyway, with that said, yeah. What'd you like? What'd you hate? What's your part? What'd you like least?
The combat was a little messier just because of how split apart we were and the aspects with the guards and that, and just so many bodies flying about. So it was still a good combat, but probably
It was different, eh?
It was a little bit fragmented.
It was, yeah, really.
But it was a good session overall. The boxes and that made kind of a good visual, and we kind of prepped all this stuff for defending the house, which obviously was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it was supposed to be more of an action, not so much of a siege. But it could have turned into a siege if you guys had waited out. Then eventually, the guards would have failed, and it would have been like you guys were last standing against. Actually, that would have been the end of Malloran's Rest. Really, you guys would have been like refugees in the swamp countryside as the place gets run over.
Yeah. So,
But otherwise,
good
it's
good session though.
all right. Your favorite part was
Favorite part, just kind of the transformation in general, kind of the descriptions of Jasper and kind of the mystery of how to deal with it.
fair enough.
Problem solving.
Right. Turn. What'd you like? What'd you hate? What'd you part? What'd you like least?
I think my favorite part was getting the teeth. Juicy eyeballs.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought it was a little slow this week. Seemed like it went a little slow.
The combat?
You were, I don't know, like less into it, I felt.
Yeah, I was really rusty at the beginning, and then the coffee hit me, and I was pretty good. It wasn't until that coffee hit me I was having trouble like getting into it. I got a lot on my mind here, forgive me, but once the coffee hit, I had myself sorted pretty good, I think. It was just there was a lot of ideas. Like there was so many different ideas I had, and in the end, what you guys got was like this amalgam of. I don't mean to take over, sorry. But yeah, no, there was a bunch of stuff going on. Sorry. Anyway, but then once the coffee hit, yeah, I totally feel you. Sorry.
That's all I got. Keep going.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
Oh, I like the taking the
teeth, right?
and
Fantastic.
stuff.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, the gooey.
Apparently, wyverns are just pussies.
Yeah.
That seems
Yeah,
to
well-
be a theme.
The builds and everything. Like I said, there was a bunch of different ideas I had, but I'll get into that afterwards.
More voices.
Yeah, a little bit more RP, I guess, maybe. Oh no, I did have the Good Path on. He didn't get as much screen time as I thought. Actually, I was actually practicing his voice even, but he didn't get as much screen time as I had expected, maybe, to get in on him. So that is what it is, right? Sorry. That was you.
Yeah.
Jen, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What'd you prefer? What'd you like least?
I like how you just threw her into the game after she said she was just gonna watch.
And now you're getting freaking stabbed. Bye.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
I
That was
was glad
worked
you
out.
enjoyed that.
I did.
Glad to entertain.
Yeah, my least favorite part was what Curtis said, trying to reinforce the house, and there's no reason to.
Fair enough. You know, it's good to be diligent though, because if you're not, then something gets you. You know what I mean? And the two of you did it, and so the top and the bottom were more or less fortified. So it was good. I think there's no
It's
harm in
fine
that sort of
wine.
thing. You know? Yeah, exactly. And truth be, that's what makes a good group is when there's a mix of actions.
I actually kind of missed how they wound up. Like, I remember.
I
Cassandra-
don't know if
yeah, you didn't, but then we were over here. How did they get way the hell over there? I kind of got lost on.
So
how
this
that
was
happened.
actually this
Sorry.
right here is the main drag. This was the main drag down the road from here, and this was following the alleyway off from here. Right?
So when did Jen's character run?
So
the
Jen
house
actually-
and set up on.
Yeah, Jen followed in behind with you guys, but then you guys took the alleyway, and she took the crates.
Oh. Okay.
And so that's where the split off happened, and you had the turn left over, and Toma followed in the turn afterwards. So that was why you were one move ahead, and then the loading screen happened such that you guys were here and here,
Yeah.
and then move in to what we had there. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, where were we? That was Jen.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that was it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite part?
Oh, the
Thing.
fortifying the house and
Right,
No
and that
point.
thing. Katie, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What's your favorite? What'd you like least?
I really like the storytelling aspect of it. Just like the trail it went on, I guess.
Right.
I like the trying to figure out how to change or cure the boy. That was cool. I don't know. I didn't really like, nor didn't really not like any of it. It was fun.
Fair enough.
Mm.
What was your least favorite part then?
Least favorite part. Trying to figure out what to use, when to use it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's just useful.
It's a bunch of stuff when you're brand new.
Yeah.
We take newbies and throw them into level 20 sometimes. Yeah. That's always
Here,
fun.
finish it out. Level 3 in the
Right. It's like, yeah, it's that's a challenge in that sense.
Disaster.
Yeah, pretty much. But man, Jerm, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What'd you like least?
I liked it all. You know, I thought fortifying the house is actually smart because you could be a really mean DM and have them come in behind it if you didn't
Have a
have
weaver and
fortified.
crash into the front.
Yeah. So like in reality, fortifying
I
the
considered
base
that.
and then venturing out forward. If we got overwhelmed, we could have easily retreated back. So I think fortifying the house added a little something.
If I may add to that, also when you do things, it closes off options in my mind. So if you hadn't fortified the house, maybe I would have thought to have some kobolds invade the place while you were out. So diligence pays off in other ways. Right? So it is true.
Favorite part: smashing the knight in half with nat 20 and divine smite.
That was pretty
That was
cool.
some divine intervention
Yeah,
right there.
yes.
Yeah,
Pun intended. That was amazing. Yeah. I was totally like trying to muster it, and then because I just like had so many different ideas and whatever stresses and shit too, but like
You can't be on point every day.
no, exactly. Like I know that too, right? But it's still very much a job to me. Like I do what I do as a job, like it's a performance art, like fucking like any performance artist. But it's like like I say, I had several different ideas, and the whole of it actually went nothing. I shouldn't say nothing like I wanted. But there was supposed to be another combat after this. We were supposed to get through the first one and then get to another combat, and I wanted this to be a fragmented thing where actually there was 3 different things happening at once. Where there was, because if you remember, the ballistas needed ammo, so it was supposed to be somebody was running ballista ammo to the ballistas, and then if you did that, then that wyvern would have been shot. Then these guys would have been protected. Like there was all this sort of mathematics to it. But then when players do this or do that, you gotta add things and drop things, right? And so in this case, I didn't worry about the ballista. So when the wyvern showed up, the combat still had to be fast, but I wanted it to be like deadly, right? Because these guys are invading the city, and you gotta feel the pressure, etc. So I wanted it to be, deadly, but I wanted it to be fast. So like I say, the kobolds were there. I made no rolls for any of the soldiers with the kobolds on the soldiers. It was strictly just kobolds that were striking on you guys. And that guy, shit, what can I say? Like, Wyvern's dead immediately. Because fucking, we gotta keep the combat rolling. Right? And that was that, And when you chased after the kobold there, actually at the end, I was a little surprised, to be honest. So I let you have it pretty quick there. But,
I was kind of surprised. I figured from the description initially that like he was the leader and that the guy was the foot soldier, but it turned out to be
he was just a runt like everybody else, but he had some spells, right?
so he was very basic.
Well, yes and no. Like he was a shaman, so he could throw an attack spell or two. That was about
And
it.
I think that was more just I misinterpreted from the descriptions off of that.
Hey?
That's more I just
Yeah, no,
had
fair
something
enough.
different in my head from the
He
description.
was supposed to be badass and whatnot, but then he shows up and you guys slaughtered all his friends. Like you literally poked around and all of them dead. What's he gonna do?
Like,
And so that left him going, oh look, she zooped all my guys. So when someone zoops your guys, you're kind of left, you gotta run at that point. That's it. All my dudes are zooped, I gotta go. So that was him. And like I say, he was supposed to be badass, but then you gave chase. If you hadn't given chase, I wanted to be, guarded show up afterwards with his head. Be like, you dropped something. But it was what it was. I thought the pacing was okay. I wish we had got through the combat and got to the rest of it. And there was some ideas that I would have liked to put into action, but
Didn't really get a lot of feel about like the his parents or anything. The interactions there were very light.
yeah, like I say, it was supposed to be.
I wasn't sure what we were like aiming for next. That was kind of my problem. Was like, are we?
Yeah.
So with the. Sorry, I'm just trying to backtrack to where we started. So we started out in the city, and then, we started out just entering the city, and then you guys went to take him. You took him to his house, where he was put down. At which point, you guys wanted to investigate upon the staff. The place got attacked. Buddy introduced himself. You guys took him home. The place got attacked. there was a bunch of basic interactions with the guy there while you guys were in the middle of combat. And then afterwards, there was the bunch of research that kind of got fast-tracked. Where you guys were trying to find a link. So, really what ended up happening is I tried to shoehorn in the last piece of it for doing some research on the bits. Otherwise, the library portion of it was supposed to come out sort of in the middle. What ended up happening there? We went to the church, right? The whole church thing happened. So I had to work around that. Now, I could have had the church, I could have had him pull out the library of the church like I ultimately did. But, we're in the middle of the session, so I didn't know where we'd end up. So I figured, okay, we'll play out the combat and then we'll play that up. So, it was what it was, and we were still at the church at the end, and we needed to have the books available. So, that was when I had him sent for the page, and so we had to kind of fast track the research in there. And I wasn't going to get much of a chance to have a lot of banter back and forth, because again, we're at the church, right? So it was what it was. But I think I kind of made it work. But yeah, it was loose at that point. The point is that you guys did the research on it. I don't know why I had a different book reference it. I guess it's just because the first book is supposed to be like the history of dragons. So I was like, oh, there's gonna be another book. And I didn't
it seems like knowledge
that
history or something might have been.
The part that I want to scold myself for is creating a disjointed link out of nothing, because he's supposed to be like, this doctor shows up and he's got these all this various knowledge and books and resources ready to go, right? Never mind why or any of that, but he had these things, right? So there was no lead up. That's my failure there, I think.
Yeah, it kind of felt like we were just kind of, okay, here you go.
Well, yeah, totally.
Here's your resource. Well, yeah, again, back to my point, I don't feel like, I kind of feel like maybe we skipped some interactions with his father or the mother that should have been a little more significant, because essentially,
getting the money
that was
the goal.
Yeah, like that was the main quest that we were doing.
Yeah, we got a fast track.
He had no real reaction about the fact his son's turning into a freaking dragon.
Yeah.
Which seemed like that's a pretty big thing to just gloss. Like that's.
I think I might have actually skipped his parents altogether here.
Yeah.
I feel like he just gave us the money.
It's like, here's
and
money.
we were like,
here's the money. Okay, now we're gonna stick around regardless because your son's turning into a dragon.
Yeah, I was like, thanks for the money. We're gonna go tie your son up.
We totally missed his
Throw him in a barrel or something.
I just realized that I totally missed, because when he was running away at the stairs, I totally gapped. Yeah,
and I grabbed him.
What NPC did react there? They're all classics. Shameful. Oh my god. I'm thoroughly embarrassed now. I totally missed all of his family fucking freaking out. None.
Well, as we saw his mom freak out, she was.
Yeah, no, she ran out and she did the thing, and I was
Yeah.
totally good with that. And then.
But then we just kind of like faded to black, jumped right into the mansion.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
And then there's the interaction there, and then I totally forgot his parents there. Oops. But that lead up scene where his mom came out, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Right? That was incredible.
Yeah.
Shoot. Oh,
yeah, but like then they just kind of disappeared.
Okay,
and
well,
it seemed a little
in that moment, there would have been the oh my god, obviously. Both of them would have been freaking out. Oh my goodness.
Like where'd they end up during the siege? All those in
Oh, that's an easy one. As far as the siege goes, they would have been at the upstairs in their safe area. I suppose you could start with the guards around them. They would have one bodyguard, etc. But no, what would his reaction be as the father? I guess looking back on it, sorry, to make that fit in too, so that there's no diversion. I mean, it's panic. The mom faints. The father's beside himself. I think pretty much fits it.
Like it
We'll
seems like
that
he
way.
should be driving some action or trying to do something a little more actively as a leader with resources and things like that. Like he should be encouraging.
You're right. But I'm gonna make him go catatonic.
Yeah.
You know what? That's it.
I know there's a cat
So-
here somewhere.
Lord
Yes,
Rutger,
it's me the
at this
whole
point, is
game,
going
really.
catatonic. I'm good with that.
Shut the door.
And Lady Rutger fainted on scene and has not woken up since. That seems easy.
That works.
And
So-
we're the new lord of the house.
Well, if Lord Rutger doesn't recover.
You're ludicrous.
So maybe in a cutscene you're giving him a smelling salts or something like that. But yeah, you can't win them all.
Okay, my new favorite thing is the cat. I went to the bathroom just now and I saw your cat.
Oh,
His
Bob?
name's Bob.
I just got him a new tag actually recently.
Named Roy.
Right on. That's a good name actually.
Yeah, it's-
Fire next time.
Yes!
I want to see the fire.
More fire.
Set something on fire. Amaze
Yeah.
this woman.
Just completely unjustified.
Uh,
On fire!
as far as anything goes though, everyone's gonna beat on what's happened now. Does everybody understand the story up to now?
I do.
Yeah, I understand what's going on.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just not sure what the next step is.
So at this point, you have a staff that is capable of, you're not sure what, but is causing this boy to robust. You've got a way of reversing
Oh, we're
the
getting this
transformation.
back. That's what we're doing.
You got a way of reversing the transformation, but you haven't got a lead on how to use the staff. Like what's doing what it's doing to the boy, right? Maybe the fish people knew, maybe they didn't know, maybe they fluked out. In the meantime, you need troll fat to cause a fire hot enough to render the ingredients into the draft that's going to help that will theoretically reverse the effects of this staff upon the boy. The magical transmutations that you've seen correlate with recipes, blah, blah, blah. You made the notes that you did. You're not quite sure that you understand them, but you're pretty sure that this is how it's supposed to be. That all said, you guys are following what the Lord Hiron Cropus will give you guys directions to the trolls. The troll fens actually will be a valley of caveways that house trolls within them, and you guys are going to be going to hunt one to potentially kill it or carve off a piece of it and bring it back to render this draft.
I think we can safely assume we've had rest before heading out at this point.
Yeah, you guys don't have to head out right away. You guys have a moment, but that is what you guys are headed towards doing. So that's next session on Dungeons and Dragons in my garage. And yeah, no, I
Here's
can't
my
believe
phone number.
I forgot to include the parents' reaction in the aftermath of that actually, because I totally thought about it as he was going to rush up the stairs, and then that was when you said you were grabbing him. That's right, you were grabbing him, and then I got into that, and then I said that his father's just staring at him stoically and not reacting, and that.
And he was being a brat.
Yeah, and then that's when you thought that I meant that he was being a brat, and then he threw the reaction and ran away. That's when the staff reacted. He passed out, and I totally yapped on the father or the mother. The mother, in that case, you would have watched as Lady Rutger suddenly, oh my god, and falls backwards, landing on the ground as she passes out completely from the sight of her son with wings. And the father suddenly shouts out in shock and and shouts for somebody to get Father Luminous in here. What is this curse? I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Jameson, give me a washcloth. Somebody rub this. And he starts trying to manhandle the wings, and you guys would have had to pull him off, and there would have been a thing there.
Like I said, cut the wings off.
Maybe he would have tried to cut him off. He used to say you guys would have had to pull him off, trying to cut wings off his own son. This is not happening!
Pull on the left descent.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
some definite character moments that.
That could have been explored, yeah. I'm telling you, my failures, they're numerous. But seriously, no, I really appreciate it, and I can't, what can I say? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, how do you do that, right? How do you miss something like that? C'est la vie. Anyway, thanks very much for playing. It has been fun. I hope you guys had fun. I think it had been
Yeah,
fun.
sure.
Next session, you guys will be going to the Troll Fens. So that should be fun. Once more. And there will be fire, because fire is how you prevent a troll from regenerating.
Anyone want a donut before you leave?
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Alright.
pass those down to him. I'm just gonna come over and throw my garbage out.
Wow, yeah. How did we not have any of these? Oh, hello. Hi, how are you?
Oh, there's a.
Oh, wow, look at this. It's trying to tell me something.
You want to?
It's the donut. Had a donut, baby.
You're like too
That's
good.
good package deal.
Well,
They
you
give
know,
it half
he
and
had
half?
the Long
Oh,
John
neat.
and a regular donut together.
Did you want
They
one?
were trying to make a
No.
baby.
Did you want one?
No.
Yeah, good. There's donuts everywhere. Yeah, I'll be at the gym tomorrow.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Hang on, everybody.
Night.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
That's the lady who does grooming for pets.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you do cats?
I do.
Ooh, I'll have to get your number or something.
I have a card if you want.
Yeah, if you have one. I just took one of our cats, Roy, actually,
Oh,
to
yeah, Arc Knight is the third. I'm not sure if you thought that.
Yeah, totally, man.
shave, and it was $120.
There's like 4 left in here. Just
Alright. No worries, no worries, no worries.
Eat it.
Yeah.
Just eat it.
No, it was a horrible cut.
We'll see you next week, guys.
It's
Oh,
like
that's so
patchy,
sad.
and it's like all uneven up my ears.
Seriously, for
$140.
that is
Yeah,
sad.
it was.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well,
I took my cat to Birch Animal Hospital to get him shaved, and they sedate him, and it still came out as a
Oh
really
my
shitty.
How do you screw
This
up
is
a
a
cup when
really,
the cat
really
is out?
crumbly card, but
if you lose it, I have her info.
Yeah.
yeah. Or just look up Soda Puffs on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. See you next Monday.
See you, Julie.
drive safe,
How's the job
everybody.
going?
Oh, actually, it's going great. Yeah. Buddy loves my work, and I like working with him. Yeah, so it's been going alright. Been having been having a good time going through the system and just learning everything so far. So no complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was stunted tonight. Holy crap! I still feel mentally stunted.
Yeah.
I'm going through some shit this week, so it's I'm sorry. I shouldn't say I'm going through shit. I'm just I've got a thing on Thursday to go to, and yeah, it is what it is.
Distracted.
Yeah, just distracted through the whole of it. So apologies for that.
Oh, no worries, man.
But no, seriously, I do appreciate you pointing that out. It's just it drives me nuts realizing that you missed something like
Just
that.
have a good sleep. And see ya.
Later. Tell you right now, eating a donut can be frustrating. Can't imagine what it's like for somebody wearing dentures. Anyway. So another night comes to the close. I didn't have the Facebook chat open tonight. I do apologize. Didn't have the mixer open. Wish I had. Didn't think about it till about halfway. It's always rough, you know. Always rough when you can't get a beat on your night. And I had to make a list of beats. Oh, you fucking bastards. Mosquitoes are out in full force. I made a list of beats and I still had a tough time getting off the ground. There's some days there. Alright. It has been a pleasure, once again, to be your entertainer with my wonderful palette of players, the plethora of wonderful personalities that they are. Until next time, we hope you enjoyed what you saw. We will be streaming Mondays and Fridays from 7 until midnight, or whenever we finish, 10:30 in this case. Until next time, may your 20s always land on 20. Have a good night, all.